And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for being here tonight. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, all over television, all over everywhere. I'm not even really sure where to begin. We got a whole lot we're going to get into. There's a whole lot going on. Yes, I have seen the Hunter Biden. How can I say? I've seen the Hunter Biden story. How about that? But we all know what's going on with him. There's a tape that got released by people in China. Now, the tape and the content of the tape specifically is less important than the fact that China has it. And when I say China, I don't mean the CCP, but I mean anti-CCP Chinese people in China. The question is, how do they have it before we do? How are they sending us videos of a Democratic presidential nominee's son involved in some weird stuff that he shouldn't probably be doing? Okay, but the crack smoke and illicit behavior. What's going on with that? If they have that of him, then what else do they have? How compromised is a Joe Biden? Is it a blackmail scheme that didn't really pan out too well? We'll talk about that briefly. But what I will say is this. Do not watch that tape, please. Whatever you do, I'm saving you from yourself. All right? But we'll talk about Hunter. We'll talk about the debate. We'll talk about Chelsea Handler. We'll talk about the mask mandate, the George Floyd update, and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all again for being here. Yet again, you guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. If you enjoy the show, if you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the channel, please give this video a thumbs up. If you're listening on your favorite audio streaming platform, give me a 5-star rating, a review, a share, whatever you can, because this show will be available on Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Anchor, Stitcher, wherever your favorite podcast platform happens to be. I should be there. There's a link for it in the description box below. You can also search me on that platform. Just search for ABL Live, and this show should pop right on up. So, yeah, we got to talk about a whole lot. It's a whole lot going on. The coyotes, all that good stuff. I'm going to talk about Hunter Biden first to get the elephant out the room, and I won't spend too much time on it because it's pretty gross. Now, and also, I know we got little kids watching, little babies watching, so this is going to be a really PG, maybe PG/13 review of it. Now, we all know, I think I reported on the fact that there was a sex tape on Hunter Biden's laptop where he was smoking crack. That's out there on the internet right now. I advise you do not watch it. Please, if you just take any of my advice, all right? Some of my advice you may take, vote Trump, be conservative. Okay, you took that advice, good. Here's one more piece of advice I implore you to take. Do not watch the tape. Just know that it's out there, and there's more tapes coming from China. All right, I don't have any links. I'm not going to do that here, so don't even ask me for it. But it's out there. In the tape, it shows a really nasty act while he's smoking crack. Okay, now, in my humble opinion, the sex tape is of little importance. What's really important is the quid pro quo between Hunter and Joe Biden and Joe Biden's brother and all that good stuff. Ukraine, Russia, China. That's the most important thing right there. Okay, the quid pro quo. And if there's any underage Chinese girls in the tape, I don't know if there is or not, but I'm saying if there is, then that's important as well. Not if you got two adults. The crack smoke, that just goes to show what kind of mind state that Hunter Biden has. Okay, a crackhead will leave his laptop at a repair shop and not pick it up, knowing it has, incriminating documents, emails, tapes, pictures, all that good stuff on it. All right. If you're in right state of mind, you would not do that. You wouldn't just leave it with some random guy and have it be open to the federales coming in and checking out what's going on it. So, yeah, that just happened within the past hour or so. Twitter is censoring it real hard. And, what's funny about Twitter is that there was a tape of Giuliani from the Borat movie, And that got promoted to the very top of Twitter's trending topics list. If you don't know, which most of you guys should know, Twitter does not have any kind of organic trending topics. Everything they do, like if you go on your app on your computer and you go to Twitter and the trending topics list, that's all manually curated. It has to get manually placed there by Twitter itself. There's no, organic list that exists on Twitter. At one point, that may have been the case, but that's not the case anymore. Everything's manually curated, which goes back to this whole platform versus public. But I'm gonna go down that road, so I digress. Anyway, the Giuliani tape was at the top of the list for quite a long time. Okay, they promoted that tape as some kind of, they got him in a sexual encounter and it's inappropriate and the girl was underage. Meanwhile, there was no sexual encounter. This is a full-grown woman. It was edited deceptively for a Borat movie. It was fraudulent. It was phony. And Giuliani already addressed it back in the summertime, back in like June or July of this year, 2020. The whole thing was just phony. It was fake to try and attack Giuliani, right? But they promoted that as if it were real, talking about, Giuliani's caught in a compromising position. How's he going to explain this? But the Hunter Biden tape, you can't even post a link. And it's most certainly not going to be on the trending list, although that's all that's being spoken about right now on Twitter. That dominates. If you go to Twitter right now, Hunter Biden, but it's nowhere to be seen on a trending topics list. I wonder why. Because they're censoring that really hard. But Giuliani, let it go. It's all good. Knowing that it was fake, knowing that it was edited, knowing it from a movie, knowing that nothing really happened in the tape, they still promoted that tape like it was a real story. Okay? So you see kind of what's going on here. They will censor one side of the aisle, not the other side. Before the election, they tried to be a little bit more neutral with their coverage, trying to say, okay, we're covering both sides equally. We're treating both sides equally. But obviously, that ain't the case anymore. The election is pretty much upon us. We're counting down the days now. So the mask has fully come off. They're totally censoring conservative things. Anything that hurts them on the left, they're going to censor. Anything Hunter Biden, anything like that, they're going to suppress, censor, block, all that. Jack came out and said that it was wrong to straight up block links from the original Hunter Biden story. But they're doing the same thing again now. And if it's inappropriate to have this tape out there, what about Giuliani to not only allow it on the platform, but promote it manually on their trending topics list? But hey, we see what's going on. One thing about the whole Hunter Biden tape that I could take away is that Twitter will do anything that is in their power to hurt the right and help the left, period. Facebook, same thing. Okay, Twitter and Facebook, terrible. YouTube is actually pretty good. You can't post whatever you want on YouTube, obviously, but they're better than Facebook or Twitter by a long shot. It's not even close. Not even close. So, yeah. And you know what? Shout out to Hilly Dilly, who says the fake news and all the codependent citizens drove me into the Trump camp. Exactly. People are saying, you know what? All this fake stuff that's out there, it's obviously fake. It's not even trying to be neutral or, just independent. It's clearly fake and it's favoring one side. So when you see stuff like that, just as a person with any kind of morals and scruples about yourself, you're saying, you know what? I don't want to deal with this particular side. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to deal with that side. Now, they got a whole lot on Hunter. They're releasing stuff like every hour on the hour. This Chinese anti-CCP organization in China, they got information, documents, they're releasing every hour on the hour right now as we speak. And somebody said it right there. If they had that tape and we didn't have it over here, but they had it in China, what else do they have on Hunter? Okay. And there's this whole thing they have over in China. Well, from the CCP, really, it's a whole method upon which they, try to gain influence on you or control you as a politician or regular citizen over in America. They use, they blackmail you. They use women and sex. Like it was one guy, an American, I think he was of Chinese descent. He was in the military. He got caught up in a spying scheme, and it was a Chinese woman that was involved with it. Like it was a Chinese spy that came in as a woman and, gained favor with him. So they're doing stuff like that. They're straight up using people to influence other people by any means, whether that's, through physical nature, through something that you would like, through straight up bullying tactics, from planting stuff on you, recording devices, all that stuff. Okay. Of course, the high tech espionage, the hacking, all that's going on. They're talking about Russia hacked Russian hacked emails, Russian hacked laptops. Well, you're probably more likely to get hacked by the Chinese. Okay. They got a whole wing in the military that's dedicated to hacking. So let's not get it twisted. They'll be in the full military uniform behind the computer. All right. It's not a game at all. So that's what I got to say about that. The whole Hunter Biden thing is developing right now, but this ain't over. We're going to see a lot more. The media will try to say, oh, well, they're putting out private information. It's unimportant. What does it got to do with Joe? It's got everything to do with Joe, because the reason why this is going on is because of Joe. Joe is the guy that enabled Hunter to go over there to Ukraine and China and Russia and get all this money and be in a situation where he can get blackmailed, okay? And if Joe has this happening to his son from China, he's a national security risk. All right, you got some chinks in your armor, sir. If the Chinese have documents and pictures and videos from Hunter, then what do they have from Joe? If Joe's sending emails to the laptop, he's sending information to the laptop or the Hunter's phone or whatever, and the Chinese have been able to hack it. It's the same thing going on with Huma Abedin and Anthony Weiner and Hillary Clinton. Okay, she's sending classified emails to Huma Abedin. Meanwhile, you got a whole pervert and Anthony Weiner using that same laptop to go on these crazy websites and do whatever he's doing. Okay, that's a national security risk. You have, a very weak link in your armor, and your security system is weak as all get out. You got a fence with no lock on it. You got a fence that about to fall over. If you push the fence with one finger, it'll fall to the ground. That is the level of security that Joe Biden has right now around his personal affairs. If you got a guy like Hunter who's deep into your personal affairs, that has this big, gaping leak in his security system. Okay, if you got a chain with one weak link, the chain gonna break. You gotta have a strong chain all the way throughout, and Hunter is that weak link, and the chain is the Joe Biden crime family. They're talking about us on the right being, involved with the Russians and, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, all this, that, and the third, when it's really them. They're the ones that are doing it, not us. But I digress for now. So again, please do not watch that tape from Hunter Biden. You will regret it. But just know that it is out there, and just know that there's more coming. And I think that you're going to see a lot more about Joe Biden as a result of the leaks from Hunter Biden that are coming from China right now. Ask yourself this: what else do they have that we don't have? How are they from China sending us information about one of our citizens that is, involved with the presidential election? What's going on? But again, I digress. We got a whole lot happening here. Let's talk about the Coyotes, because this whole thing was really ridiculous. And we'll talk about Hunter a little bit more, I guess, a little bit later when you guys call in at about 9 o'clock. But I'm going to move on for now. Now, did you guys see the young lady that was confused about what a coyote is? Hold on. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and try to pull this up right quick. So during the debate on, Thursday night, you had this part of the debate when they were talking about, and also, before I get into the whole thing about the Coyotes, Trump was asking a really good question about the cages, because, the media tried to say that Trump put kids in cages, ripped kids from their mother's arms. But it's like, okay, who built the cages? Who built those cages? That's all that I want to know. Who built the cages? Matter of fact, I'm going to play that video, and then I'm going to show you the picture I'm talking about from the young lady. All right. So let me just pull that up right quick. Give me one moment. And thank y'all for being here yet again. If you like what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up on the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And this is from the debate. And if you can't see the screen, this is President Trump and Joe Biden from the debate. That's a crazy freeze frame. I don't know what's going on with Joe Biden and that crazy. It's kind of like, mid-rage frame. But you're going to hear the whole thing about the cages right quick, and then we get to the next part.
Parents. And it makes us a laughing stock and violates every notion of who we are as a nation.
Let me ask you a follow-up question.
Kristen, they did it. We changed the policy.
Your response
they
to that?
They did it. We changed.
Did not.
They built the cages. Who built the cages, Joe?
Let's talk about what
who
we're
built
talking
the cages,
about.
Joe?
Let's talk about what we're talking about.
I mean, very good question. Who built the cages? That's what I want to know. All right. Now, they're talking about, of course, the border and the kids ripped from their mothers, all this, that, and the third. And there was one part where Joe Biden was talking about there was like 500 families that hadn't been reunited, that were torn apart, quote unquote, torn apart at the border. And Trump was trying to tell Joe and America that most of these so-called children coming across the border are coming across unaccompanied. Or sometimes they're like not even really kids. You're talking about 16-year-olds, you understand, that probably already in gangs and then kill people, but different story. Anyway, they're coming across unaccompanied, or they're coming across with people that are not their parents. They're coming across with coyotes. And Twitter really just went ablaze saying, coyotes? What's that? What is a coyote? What do you mean a coyote did it? You talking about Wile E. Coyote? You talking about the little dog or the big crazy dog? Matter of fact, before I get into the tweet, have you ever heard a coyote? Like, the craziest noise you're ever going to hear in your life. Like they're being killed every single time you hear them. But anyway, here's the tweet from an elected official in Georgia by the name of Darshan Kendrick. And I'll place that right on the screen before you. If you're not able to see it, I'm going to just read it anyway. And the tweet reads, did real Donald Trump just say 545 kids, they can't find their parents? 4 came over through cartels and coyotes? How the H does a coyote bring a whole human across the border? Lord, stop talking. Hashtag final debate. So this person thought that Trump was talking about the actual dog, like the wild dog, the dog-like creature, a coyote. It's like, no, ma'am. You're talking about a person that facilitates human trafficking, human smuggling, or whatever it is. Usually what happens is one of two things. Either the coyote is paid by the person to smuggle them across the border illegally, or that coyote will bring in human trafficking victims, people that are brought into the country by force, not choice. So people did not know really what this meant. Like coyote? What do you mean coyote? Jamel Hill, of course, our favorite Jamel Hill from ESPN. She didn't know. Van Lathan used to be on TMZ. The black guy didn't know. A lot of people. Matter of fact, there was like a whole big list of people that had no idea what a coyote is in the context of human trafficking. Now, my question is this. Okay, if you don't know, it's fine. You could be ignorant. I don't know everything. If somebody asks me about a particular thing I don't know about, I'll be like, look, I don't know. I'm going to look it up and I'm going to get back to you. And you got your phone right here. You got your device right in your hand. So all you got to do is go on your phone. What is a coyote? Human trafficking, southern border, click, and you got what you need. People were really trying to attack Trump for saying coyotes. It's like, what? You have everything right here. There's no excuse for being so ignorant. And like I said, that person that I showed you the tweet from is an elected official, a state rep, but still an elected official. And these people are the ones that are trying to tell you what to do with your everyday life. Wear a mask, do this, do that. All right, but check it out. How about you finish education? How about you learn how to read and write? Because the tweet wasn't even written right, first of all. Second of all, she's just ignorant about policy. So if you don't know about policy, become educated, and then you'll be able to speak. If I'm asked a question I don't know about, I'll say, you know what? I don't know too much about that. I need to do some more research. I won't speak on it and try to critique while at the same time being ignorant. So, and you know what? I thought that the person was trolling. I was like, nah, they can't really think that a coyote is referring to the actual wild dog with that crazy sound. Nah, it wasn't even just her. It was a lot of people that had no idea what a coyote is. But hey, that's the kind of world we live in right now. So shout out to her. And matter of fact, The memes are crazy. Here's one right here. That's a young lady right there, Darshan Kendrick. And if you can't see it, it says, "How could a team of SEALs kill bin Laden?" That's hilarious. Because it makes you wonder if you thought that a coyote in the context of human trafficking referred to the actual animal, the dog, the actual furry little beast. If you thought that, then how about SEAL Team 6? Is it actually SEALs like that are in the water? Is that what you think the SEAL Team 6 is? I mean, come on, stop. But that's where we are nowadays. All right. But matter of fact, I wanted to find the other tweet. Oh, I got a good video I'm gonna play in a minute, but I wanted to find some more. Because it was a lot of people that felt the same way. Let me see if I can find that right quick. Man, it's so much going on. Oh, here's a good one right here. They're talking about the cages. Going back to that right quick. This is a picture of the cages when Jan Brewer was taken on the tour in 2014 of the very same cages. And you see the cages and people on the ground laying down. And one key thing about this picture is that it says on the sign in the upper left-hand corner, males 16 to 17. So are these so-called kids that are ripped from their parents, 16 and 17-year-olds? I mean, they probably been smoking Newports for the past 5 years, okay? They're in line MA and MS-13. They probably been getting high, smoking Newports, and shooting their guns for the past 5 years, okay? A 16-year-old coming from Central America may not be the exact same thing as a 16-year-old coming from the suburbs out here in the US of A, all right? Let's just keep that all the way real. So this whole thing about kids ripped from their parents, you can save that. If you want to not be ripped from your parents, how about don't come over here illegally? Come over here the right way and have that be that. Oh, okay, here's another one from David Hogg. You guys know who that is. It says, imagine calling the immigrant parents that bring their children to the United States for a better life coyotes. The level of xenophobia is sickening. I mean, but it's just ignorance. It's just sheer ignorance. And the thing is, don't be so proud don't be so proud in your current knowledge that you will prevent yourself from learning more. I learn something new every day. I always read. I always trying to gain more information. You're never done. If you think you know everything, you know nothing. I don't care how intelligent you are, how well-read you are. There's always room to learn. Okay, and here's what I was trying to find, right? It's so many on here, you probably can't even see it. You probably got to be on an extra big flat screen TV. But all these right here, this is probably just one page. It looks like it's about 20 or 25 blue checks that are all confused. Coyotes? What do you mean? Oh my word, what children are being brought here by coyotes, you loon? I mean, crazy. And then somebody says, please explain children are brought here by coyotes to me. I'm certain that's not literal. Crazy. But hey, it is what it is. All right, I'm going to move right along. Here's a video I want to show you guys because we got to go back to this whole thing about the virus. I just did a video about Anthony Fauci supporting a national mask mandate. I think that Joe Biden had proposed, saying, hey, if you don't want to wear your mask, let's have it be a national mask mandate. You got to put it on, all this, that, and the third. Now, Fauci got on TV again, put his foot in his mouth again, talking about, well, yeah, I kind of agree. We should do that. Well, I understand about the enforcement, but we still got to do it. It's like, look, Fauci, your days are numbered, okay? Your clock is ticking, okay? We got just a few more days here. As soon as November the 4th hits, the day after the election, you're gone, regardless of what. It don't matter if Trump wins, whatever. You're going to be gone, period, because this whole thing is crazy. We're all done with the virus. And magically, the flu disappeared. Ain't no more flu. Ain't no more heart disease, heart attacks, kidney failure, none of that type of stuff going on. It's all virus. All right? So, I mean, come on. Let's just stop the games. Let's just stop the madness. We're all pretty much done with this whole thing. Now, they're talking about mask mandate this, mandate that. We all know that's going to be enforced unevenly. You're going to have some people that are allowed to just not wear the mask or whatever, some that are not. Prime example is the BLM marches. They allowed the BLM marches to pretty much go on, 25,000 people. They elbow to elbow, window to wall. Some have masks on, some don't. But there's no distancing happening, and that's just fine. And they came out with a study, quote unquote study, from the so-called experts talking about, oh, well, the BLM protests and movement did not contribute to the spread of the virus. Really? So you telling me that 25,000 people in one space that halfway have on masks, halfway don't, and no distancing did not help or contribute to the spread of the virus? If that's the case, then why did Anthony Fauci come out and say that the Rose Garden event at the White House, well, like 50 people, was a so-called super spreader event? If the Rose Garden event was a so-called super spreader, then what are the Black Lives Matter marches? When Fauci was asked about that, he tried to answer it indirectly, talking about, oh, I implore you to prevent from being in large crowds. Large crowds are a bad idea. But then when he was asked about Black Lives Matter marches specifically, oh, I can't really get into that. But when it came to the Rose Garden, oh, super spreader, it's terrible. When I saw it on TV, I did a facepalm. Oh, okay. So it's fine to attack the president in his events directly, but not BLM marches. Got it. 100%. I don't want to be political. Well, you're talking about a Rose Garden event at the White House. That's political. So it's funny how that works. But anyway, here's a video I wanted to put up. This is from New York City, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that it is. And it says, police in New York are now entering private residential property to crack down on Jewish gatherings. Listen to the officer explain it's a problem that he found 10 people in the house. This is truly Orwellian. Resist this tyranny. Now, before I even play the video, shout out to the police. This is in no way an attack on the police at all. I love the police. I support the police 100%. But this policy that they have to follow, or that they are following, is crazy. Let's play the video right quick.
Right. You have a noise complaint.
Can you stop after breathing in my face? I'm the one wearing a mask.
You have a glove. You have a glove. You have a face mask. What do you care?
I'm talking to the owner here. But we had a complaint about vehicle parking in the front. Then I look up and you have over 10 people in a crowd.
So what?
Now it's an issue, okay?
What is the issue? Exactly.
The issue is...
This is not a party, there's no music, this is simply a simple thing. They have a few friends together. What is the issue that you need supposed to come into my house and tell me that it's okay for a police officer to walk into my house and say it's okay? When you are the police officer, you know the laws, you know the rules, you can't walk into my house and tell me that it's okay. If you would have been a normal person, you would have walked out and said, okay, can I talk to you? Fine, I can listen to you. Instead, you're just backing that up again and again.
We're past that. We're past that point.
You had a guest try to slam the door.
Yeah, he tried to slam it on me. I'm trying to talk to you as a person.
No, we didn't talk. The door was open.
You were standing here when I came down. I didn't see anything.
I told you, can I
As I
come
walked
into the
down,
house? I just
you
told you,
guys
can I
came
come
in.
into the
let you know
house?
what your guest did. As he was walking out, he saw us, ran back inside and tried to...
I mean, come on. That's wild. Now, if the guy, slammed the door on the officer, you can't do that. But come on. Like, you're in my house now. Okay, now in New York City, they had plenty of BLM marches. Was that a thing talking about, oh, you guys got too many people in one place and all this and that? I'm not really sure that was a thing that they can actually do. And again, it probably wasn't even their fault. They probably had ordered some up high to leave the BLM marches alone, but go to somebody's house and then go in there and tell them that they're too deep. Okay, like I said, order some up high. You got record high numbers of retirements happening right now in NYPD. Why? Because of stuff like this. They can't even enforce the law the way they want to, or they got to put their hands in their pocket. If they don't do things right, they get written up, they get disciplined. So it's like, why even be out there for what? Why? I'm not allowed to intervene with the BLM marches, really, for the most part. But they're telling me I got to go over here and inspect vehicle complaints and people's houses if they got more than 10 people in one spot. It's my house. If I have a house, people just hanging out, chilling, and there's too many people. How about this? Maybe they all live in there. What about that? What if you got a house where you got 10 residents? Is that illegal? I mean, it might be kind of elbow to elbow, packed like sardines in New York City, but still, maybe I have that going on. Maybe some guys just need to stay there for a minute. We're just hanging out and chilling. I mean, people are tired of this whole virus situation. It's causing all kind of problems. The shutdowns, we can't do it anymore. We're done with the shutdowns. That's a wrap. That is a total wrap, because all that does is just creates a bunch of economic strife, a bunch of economic problems. So yeah, we don't have any time for that at all. I'm pretty much done with it. I don't know about y'all. The mask thing I'm over with. The shutdowns I'm over with. We don't need any more stimulus. What we need is to get back to normal, to open back up 1,000%. So, yeah. So, thank y'all again for being here. We got a whole lot going on tonight. Let me get back to where I was. Oh, Chelsea Handler. We got to talk about her. Now, you guys, I think you probably seen my video today about Chelsea Handler talking about her ex-boyfriend, 50 Cent. They dated for a while, I suppose, her and 50 Cent. I don't know if they were really boyfriend, girlfriend, a serious relationship. I don't know what was going on, but apparently they did date for a while, or they were just hanging out, whatever the case may be. Chelsea Handler had been going back and forth with 50 Cent on Twitter because 50 came out and supported Trump because of the whole thing about the taxes. They did this study and put it out on Fox talking about the tax rate that would happen under a Biden administration in New York City, New York State, New Jersey, etc. 62%, 60%, 58%, just ridiculously high numbers. 50 Cent was like, look, this is way too much. I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm out. Vote for Trump. And he doubled down on that by saying, hey, I don't want to be 20 Cent. I'm 50 Cent. So that triggered Chelsea Handler, right? Super white liberal, raging, big time, orange man bad type person, right? So on Twitter, Facebook, whatever, Instagram, they're going back and forth talking about, oh, please don't do this. Black Lives Matter, remember? That's what Chelsea Handler said to him. She said to him that Black Lives Matter, as if 50 Cent needs to get choked at by her. You understand? But anyway, they're going back and forth. So then when she goes on Fallon asks her about that whole situation. Matter of fact, he doesn't ask her. She brings it up. And then he asks her about it. Hey, I saw you going back and forth. I saw your tweets. What's going on with that? Does he support Trump? And she went on to say that 50 Cent is black. And she asked to remind him that he's black. And that since he's black, he cannot vote for Trump. Now, is that racist or not? If you tell somebody, hey, you're black, you cannot vote Trump, is that racist? I think that it is. You know, insert any color and say the same thing, it's still racist. It doesn't matter what race of the person that says it or the person that is targeted. It's racist. And I don't use that word often. I use it when it matters. People use that word so liberally and loosely, it almost means nothing anymore. It's just like everything is racist. You know, the air is racist, land is racist, water is racist, everything is racist. But telling somebody, hey, you're black, you can't vote for X, Y, and Z person, that's racist. I could vote for anybody I want to. I could vote for the spaghetti head man, the dude with the shoe on his head. I could vote for him. I could vote for Trump, Biden, Joe Jorgensen, the so-called, what's that, the BLM libertarian. I could vote for whoever I wanted to vote for. My color is irrelevant when it comes to my vote. But she put it out there like it was fine. Now, for some reason, a white liberal trying to, be paternalistic, although she's a female, to a black male and order him around and say what he can and can't do is not seen as racist, right? Very interesting. But if it were the other way around, if it was a conservative doing that to anybody, then it would be seen as racist. So the whole word racist has gotten it's been so abused over the years, it's meaningless nowadays. But what she did was most certainly that. And it's not even uncommon. That is not uncommon at all. I get that every single day. I read my comments on YouTube, and I get that all the time from white liberals, black liberals, everybody. Okay? The race thing is less important, but they keep pushing it all the time. White, black, Puerto Rican, candy stripe, regardless of what color the liberal is, if they have extreme views like that, not all liberals, but the extreme views people, they're all the same. They will say the exact same thing to you. And like I said before, I'm waiting on a day when a white person will call a black conservative the hard N-word, cut him in the face or do something crazy, and then black liberals applaud, saying, yeah, F that N-word, together. But at the same time, the black liberal will say that the white conservative is racist and it hurt black people because of how they think and how they are and because they're black. But they applaud the very same person that does just that, but because they're liberal is fine. It's crazy. Now, I'm glad that people are starting to wake up and they're seeing this. Chelsea Handler is converting a lot of conservatives, people that were strong on the left, that were leaning towards Biden, or were totally in the driver's seat, ready to go ahead, get to the poll and vote for Biden, have now stopped the car, gone the other direction, hopped on the Trump train. So, I mean, if that's her objective, to turn more of us to the other side and to just pull the mask off of the white crazy liberal, then she's done it. So bravo to her. Hats off to her. Congratulations. You've been able to convert more people to our side. So that's great. But like I said, what she said was not any kind of way uncommon. I get this kind of talk all the time on my Twitters, my email, YouTube comments, Facebook comments, Instagram, DMs, all that stuff. I mean, matter of fact, I could pull up a DM right now and show it to you. If I could pull it, if I could see it, if I could find what I'm looking for, I could show you the DM right now, right on my Twitter, like it's nothing. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up right quick. If I can find it, I'm gonna show it to you. But again, thank y'all again for joining. If you're listening on the audio streaming platform, please give me a 5-star rating. Give me a like, a review, a share, whatever you can do. And if you're watching this live on YouTube and you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go ahead and do that to me. I'd most certainly appreciate you. And let me see if I can find it right quick. I'm going to find that video. I mean, that DM for sure. All right. And let me see. Oh, here's one. There it is right there. Okay. Now, this person says they're black Irish, but I see a Sean King looking guy. Okay. And this reads, hey, Sweet Pea, the election will be over in 13 very short days. Except for QAnon crazes and conservative kooks, nobody cares about Hunter Biden. It's fodder for fans of Fox News and desperate deniers of truth like yourself. But those people aren't voting for Biden anyway, so the smear campaign won't impact voters. Each side has already made a choice. You've chosen to vote for a racist, xenophobic, Islamophobe. all the phobes, good grief. I mean, how many phobes can you put in one sentence? Who beholden to dictators and oligarchs, whereas I'm voting for a man of honor and decency. Enjoy your anger and frustration November 4th. I get that all the time. That's not even nothing. That wasn't even that bad. That wasn't even racist. But this is what I get all the time. Some people say, are you trying to please the white man? How? I get some of the most angry comments and emails from white liberals. I had to block people on my email because I got so much. It became spam. It became spam. It was like, man, come on. You're doing way too much in my inbox. I can't even see all my other emails that are important. All right, what else we got going on? Oh, speaking about, let's talk about George Floyd, the update on that right quick before we move on to the next thing. You guys may have seen that the officer involved, Derek Chauvin, had one charge dropped against him, but not all charges. He was facing okay, I'm kind of confused here about Derek Chauvin. He was facing 3 different types of murder charges, or 2 murder charges and the manslaughter for one person. I don't know how that really works. He was facing 3rd-degree murder, 2nd-degree murder, and manslaughter at the same time for one person. And the officers that were there with him were facing accessory to 2nd-degree murder and 2nd-degree manslaughter. Now, however you charged with 3 of the same, so can you get convicted on all of them? Is it possible to get convicted on 2nd-degree murder, 3rd-degree murder, and the other one, what was that, manslaughter at the same time? Is that possible? I don't know, but I'll move on. The 3rd-degree murder charge was dropped. So now the only thing left is the manslaughter and a 2nd-degree murder. But like Solo Mitch said, all of them should be dropped because, first of all, the 2nd-degree murder, that's not going to stick because there was no malicious intent. I saw the body cam footage. Like, we all saw the body cam footage. There was no malicious intent. He didn't try to hurt Floyd, neither did anybody that was there. So that shouldn't be there. The whole thing with the knee on the neck, that was actually something that was part of Minneapolis Police Department's training. They trained you on how to do that. There's training videos that show that exact same maneuver. So you can't say that he was trying to kill the man by doing a maneuver he was trained to do. Only thing you can say, and you might have a hard time getting this off, you got to be able to prove it. You got to be able to say that he did not render him aid in a timely fashion. But what is that? Is that 2nd-degree murder? Is it manslaughter? I'm not really sure. I think a civil lawsuit would be the only thing they can do. I think they already got paid from that, or they will get paid if they've not been paid yet, meaning George Floyd's family. So that's all you really can't get, because the maneuver was trained by the police department. It was not some kind of rogue maneuver that you can't do. And George Floyd had drugs in the system, excited delirium. You had two toxicology reports, or no, cause of death, autopsies, whatever you want to call it. And they both said that he had fentanyl in his system. So you have fentanyl, according to every available piece of evidence. You're on tape exhibiting crazy behavior that could be derived from your fentanyl high. So just put two and two together. It seems like he died from the drugs and not from the knee on the neck, which was an approved practice by the police department in Minneapolis. And the only thing you can do now is get a third opinion on the cause of death, because the first report from Hennepin County says that the knee did not cause the death. The second one from the private pathologist said that it did cause the death. So get a third one to break it and then see how it goes. If the knee caused the death, you still can't get second-degree murder, because that was a practice maneuver that was trained. Manslaughter maybe, but probably just a civil suit. Wrongful death, and that'd be it. That'd be what's going on. So I think they might try to go second-degree murder. If he gets convicted on that, he'll beat it in appeal for sure, because there's nothing there that says second-degree murder at all. Or manslaughter, really, but definitely not some kind of big second-degree murder charge. So somebody says cause of death, the virus. That's crazy. And let me see. Shuri H.A. says twice the level of lethal dosage. So he had a large amount of fentanyl in his system. Now, here's something that could have happened. Maybe when he got pulled over, he swallowed the drugs to prevent the police from finding it. Maybe that happened. I don't know. Because if you're behaving that erratic, how can you even drive a car? You probably can't drive a car. He probably took the drugs right at that moment, and then that caused him to spiral down this whole path, started delirium, and then he ended up dying. It's really unfortunate, but I mean, what else can you do in that situation to restrain him? You're doing a practice maneuver. You're trying to work with him. You're talking to him nicely. He's just out of control. It was the same thing going on up there in Rochester, New York. I forget the man's name that passed away up there in Rochester. Was this Daniel Blake? Is that his name? Daniel Prude, pardon me. Daniel Prude up there in Rochester. It was the same thing. They said they put a white hood on his head and they killed him. It's like, nah. His own brother called the police because he was crazy out of control. He was having an episode, and that led to his death. That's just what it was. It's sad, but it's not criminal on the behalf of the police. Breonna Taylor, same thing. It's not their fault that her boyfriend shot them first. And then he tried to blame it on her. Throw her under the bus, literally. He threw her in front of the bullets and then threw her under the bus. It's sad, but that's his fault. Don't blame the police. You got to blame the boyfriend for shooting at them first. That's it. If you're going to shoot at somebody, be ready to take shots back. Don't dip out and push the girl in front of the bullets and have her catch it. Even if you thought it was a home invasion, you don't do things that way. It's your fault, the boyfriend that is, for Breonna Taylor's death. Not the police's fault, not anyone else's but yours, because you shot first and you weren't prepared to defend her or really defend yourself in an appropriate fashion. You got to stand your ground and make sure everything's straight. Not to have her take all the bullets for you, but that's what's going on with that. So, is there anything else going on? I think I pretty much covered everything here. Oh, Charlamagne the God. I'm gonna talk about him right quick before we get to the super chats. Charlamagne the God from the Breakfast Club. Now, you guys may have seen him before. I did a video about how the whole "You Ain't Black" thing happened on the Breakfast Club, where Charlamagne the God was hosting. Let's go back right quick. Joe Biden was on the Breakfast Club, and usually you have three hosts on this radio show: Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, and Angela Yee. 2 men, 1 woman. So usually it's 3 hosts, but this time it was just Charlamagne, and it was a remote thing. Biden was at home in Delaware in the basement, and Charlamagne probably at home at his house, right? So towards the end of the interview, they got to cut real short. Charlamagne's upset. Hey, you can't do that to black media. We got more questions about black this, black that, blackity black. And towards at the very end, Biden's almost done. And he was like, look, man, all that black stuff, check it out. If you don't vote for me and you ain't black, I'm paraphrasing, but he most certainly said you ain't black. And the whole context was, if you don't vote me and you vote Trump over me, you ain't black. That happened right there on Breakfast Club, and Charlamagne the God was the only host that was there. It was a one-to-one talk with Joe Biden. You can't be scratching the door. Thank you for tea. Hunter Biden's going to jail. Yeah, he is. Hunter definitely going to jail, for sure. You guys heard my wife talking about Hunter Biden going to jail. You about to get locked up. But anyway, so that happened right there on the Breakfast Club, right? So now the same guy, Charlamagne, that got embarrassed in front of the whole world, is saying that he's going to vote for Joe Biden. But he says, oh, it's not Joe Biden I'm voting for. I vote for Kamala Harris. It's like, no, sir, that's not how that works. That's not how that works at all. You're voting for Joe Biden, and then Kamala Harris is the vice president. The same guy that embarrassed you on TV, you're going to vote for him. He put forth no plan for you, nothing for you, nothing new. He didn't do anything in the past half century to help you, except for the crime bill. Maybe that helped. Maybe your grandmama got locked up from the crime bill and she's still in jail right now, but I digress. That's all that he did. Here comes Trump. First Step Act, $500 billion, platinum plan, HBCU funding, all kind of stuff for you, Charlamagne. But you want to say he's a fascist and a racist, while that guy that you vote for said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. You know, forget all that black stuff. Vote for me, you ain't black. That's pretty much how it goes. So, hey, it's hilarious to me, but I feel like Charlamagne is getting the forceful red pill and is not trying to take it. I saw that he said something positive about Trump. He was like, hey, I can see how people are drawn to Trump because he's doing things to attract the black vote. He's engaging in the marketing, the promotion, and he's doing things. He has tangibles out there. He's like almost halfway there, but he can't quite get over the hump. And I felt like the whole thing that happened with him, between him and Biden, would be enough, but it was not enough at all. So it is what it is. Why is he a god? That's a good question, Ken Bone. I don't know too much about that one. Hey, he just self-appointed. He's kind of a chump, really. Charlamagne a chump. You getting embarrassed by a guy on TV talking about, I ain't gonna do nothing for you. Vote for me, you ain't black. But the guy that wants to help you and is freeing black folks from the penitentiary that Joe Biden locked up, you want to call the racist. It's crazy. And he was never a racist, Trump that is, up until 2015 when he said I'm running for office as a Republican president. If he ran as a Democrat, then everything would be totally fine. Totally fine. He would not be seen in any kind of way, form, or fashion a racist. With the same policies and everything, he'd be seen just fine. All right. So thank y'all for being here yet again. All right. Let me see. Retro Gamer 81 says they just dropped a pic of a Visa card with Malia Obama's name on it and with coat lines. Wow. Okay. Wow. So we're going to see we're going to see that whole thing. All right. Hold on. Vike Super says, I disagree with you on this one, ABL. I don't blame the cops. They busted in an American home. The boyfriend shot in self-defense and unarmed Taylor was killed. Well, who started the whole situation? If you're going to shoot your gun at the police, you have to understand they're going to shoot back. If you shoot your gun at anybody, like let's say it's a home invasion, right? They're going to be armed. So if you shoot at them, you got to expect bullets to come back. So at that moment, you got to be thoughtful about your surroundings. If you got little kids and stuff in there, you got to make sure that you are using your brain. Don't shoot your gun with a kid right in your arms. That's dumb. Make sure that the women and the kids and anybody else is out of harm's way so they don't get hit by any kind of stray bullets. He did not do that. He just shot his gun off, bounced, and let her stay there, get shot up and die. That's what happened. That's his fault, 1,000%. You know, that's not an intelligent way to defend yourself or to defend your home. Okay, don't defend your home and defend your woman by shooting a gun and leaving and let her get shot. You know? All right. But yeah, Hunter Biden, the sex tape is out. I'm not going to post no links, no pictures or nothing. And I'm telling you, from me to you, a friendly tip, do not watch that tape. It's out there, and we know it's out there, but do not watch that tape. Please, I implore you. If you listen to anything I say ever in life, let it be this one thing. Don't watch the tape. But it is out there, and they're going to drop more stuff. All right. So, Super Chat's on deck, and then I'm going to get to the calls. So let's go to the very beginning. Thank you to Charlene S., who says, I strongly recommend everyone to watch Hillary's America on Amazon Prime. I just started watching the documentary today. I would love her take on the ABL. I think I've seen that before. Yeah, I saw it when it came out in the movie theater. I might have been the only guy in there watching it. It was late at night. Well, it was like midnight. I watched it by myself in Virginia Beach, like way out there close to Pungo. I loved it. Thank you to Apu Bakar, All Puff Daddy, who says, R.I.P. Cannon Hennant, Sequoia Turner, Horace Lorenzo Anderson Jr., Talia Kelly, Harold Preston, David Dorn, David Patrick Underwood, Tamaris Bohannon, Burnell Tramiel, David McAtee, Chris Beatty, Jose Gutierrez, all those that have been killed by Black Lives Matter, and people that are, supportive of Black Lives Matter and hate police and whatnot. Rest in peace to them. He also says, hey, ABL, I loved your video on Chelsea 50 Cent. What do you think motivates white liberals to talk the way they do to Black America? That's how they feel. And you know what? The motivation behind it is that you got Black people that they know in their life speak the same way. It's just like people that are white and say the N-word. It's because they grew up around that. Like in New York, everybody says it, from what I know. Maybe I'm wrong about it, but everybody does. Tekashi 6ix9ine, Jennifer Lopez dropping the N-word and it's fine. Jennifer Lopez dropped it in a song and nobody batted an eye. She's not Black at all, but it's fine because she's a New Yorker-Rican, a New Yorican, and they grew up right next to Black folks. So it's like part of their culture. So part of the white liberal culture is being around Black liberals that speak this way about people that are Black and vote for conservatives and that are conservatives. So she feels comfortable to say it because everybody around her says it, including Black folks. They give her a pass. But I digress. Thank you to Pete Sangria, who says, last time I voted this early was 1988. Trump landslide 2020. There you go. Boom. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to Matthew Phillips, who says, anyone else find it ironic a white woman with the surname handling a prominent Black man like 50 Cent to keep Black people in check? Sounds like old school plantation Democrat tactics to me, big time. That's why we say Democrat plantation. That's how they act. That is how they are on a Democrat plantation, the exact same way. People get offended at a Democratic plantation talk, but why get offended at us for just pointing out the fact? This is how they behave. This is not even, to me, it's not even a shock. This is common, but it's uncommon for it to be out there in public, wide open like that. So, yeah, that's Democrat plantation politics all day. Thank you to F Google, too, who says, love you, ABL. You are the best. Thank you. Hunter Biden's crack pipe donated. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Mad World says, it is said that power corrupts, but actually it's more true that power attracts the corruptible. The sane are usually attracted by other things than power. There you go. Shout out to, let me see, A. Radpour for the thumbs up donation. Retro Gamer 81 says, did my part this morning and waited 3.5 hours to vote for Orange Man. I doubt it'll matter since I'm in Blue York, but I still showed out. Hey, you gotta do your part because you're getting all kind of data from this. We're getting a lot of information. We're seeing what we're doing, if it's working, if it's not working, what we can do to change it. So, definitely vote. And you never know. New York might turn red again. California may turn red again. It may not be overnight, but it could happen. So thank you for voting, man. Thank you to Daisy Esparza, who says, what advice do you have for someone who is in a teaching program and being force-fed liberal ideas that I don't intend to implement into my new teaching? That's a really good question. My question would be, do you have to implement those ideas, or is it just things that you're being told that you could do? I think you know what the crazy ideas are, and you're able to filter it so you don't even really retain it. That'd be what I do. So I don't really know what else to say. If you have to do those things in your program, then I wouldn't even be in the program. If you have some freedom in what you can teach and how you can teach, then filter it out. Ignore it. That'd be my advice. Hudson Jackson II says, get ready for the online dictionaries to remove that meaning of coyote to make Trump look bad. Yeah, absolutely. Just like Merriam-Webster and everywhere else, changing words to fit what the general narrative is rather than what the word actually has meant for hundreds of years. Thank you to Halti Lotwork, who says, I grew up in South Africa and I know what a coyote is since I was a kid. They are so brainwashed. No wonder why I don't mess with them. Exactly. Because, you may think if you're not around a lot of people that are conservative, you may think, maybe, is it me? Am I wrong? Is my way of thinking incorrect? But no, you're the same one. You're the one that has a brain. They are insane. They have no brain. No rhyming intended. No Cypress Hill. But I move right along. Thank you to Eric Burns Marsh, who says, the coyotes talk reminds me of people who think that guerrilla warfare refers to primates trained for combat. And you'd be surprised people think that way. They really do. I was shocked. That there was so many people, blue checks, people that are in government, people that are in power, that think that he's talking about actual dog, like an animal. It's crazy. Kimberly Ashcraft says, Chelsea Handler makes me sick. The level of audacity she has to assume 50 Cent would even desire to sleep with her again, and she spewed it on TV. Yeah, that was pretty gross. That part was real nasty. I was like, ew. Big time ew. That's not attractive at all. Thank you to Muddy Fun Star Cryptos, who says, main point from the coyote situation is the very same people who try to tell us that we need to accept illegal immigration without question are those who are clueless about the dangers it opens up. Exactly. They're ignorant to the whole thing. That's why I ask questions to these people. I'll be like, well, why are you against this? What is your viewpoint on this? How about that? And when you start doing stuff like that, when you ask questions about why they're against certain things, then they want to start screeching. That's the defense mechanism of a crazy SJW. It's an animalistic thing. Ironically, okay, they engage in the screeching as a way to ward you off, like a coyote might want to screech. Have you ever heard a coyote? I mean, seriously, the craziest noise you ever heard in your life. But anyway, I digress. Thank you to the user 06 who says, ABL, check out Gateway Pundit's video of Biden is admitting to voting fraud. Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you to Bryce Clump, who says, Americans can vote for anyone they choose. Just make sure it's for you. Doesn't matter about color. Exactly. Whoever you want to vote for, that's fine. Now, we can have a debate about policy and things like that, but race is not even the thing. It's about what they're going to put on the books, what makes sense, and that's pretty much it. Your color is not important. All right. Thank you to Matthew Phillips, who says, Fallon looks terrible now, and your video made me think white libs are getting bolder with their racism. They'll soon lean into hard R's publicly. Yes, 1,000%. I said it. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it to happen. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time now because they done already went over the ledge. So they're already out there. Might as well go ahead and just drop it right now and see what happens. All right. Hey, that coyote, because we got him out here where I live at. I seen him like in front of the house a couple times. They be in packs. So that noise, if you sleeping right and you hear it, it's crazy. You don't want to hear that noise at all, ever. Okay, thank you to Paz Gazer, who says cops showing up to their home social distancing weren't NYPD officers, different patch. These people were home, so I don't see the harm. Okay, thank you for that. Shout out to BSW I Heart One, who says Isaiah 520, bad is good, good is bad. Who built the cages, Joe? Where's the crack pipe, Joe? Crazy times and the double standards, Trump 2020 all day long. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate your boss. Thank you to Brent Blackwell for your donation. Thank you to Teresa Ann Elizabeth, who says, is that Hunter Biden video released by Gateway Pundit something new? I saw it, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm sorry that you had to see that. You know, my condolences, because that video is pretty gross. Don't watch that, anybody else out there. But yeah, it's new. It was a thing that was rumored to be on a laptop that Hunter Biden had, but it hadn't been seen until tonight. So yeah, that's new to us. But apparently, the Chinese had it over in China. Now, how did they have it? How are they giving it to us? It should be the other way around, right? But I'll move on. Now, if they have that, then what else do they have? That's what I'm saying. Like, did they have the entire hard drive? Did they have emails? Did they have, passwords? What did they have? All right, let's keep on going here. Let me see. Thank you to Realm Center 40 who says, keep telling the truth. Hope you don't get shadow banned like other channels are. Now, I saw good over here, boss. Thank you to Bryce Clump who says, vote for me or you don't get a bacon, ABL. Thank you to Marna Perry who says, I'm messing the name up. Marna Perry who says, great job, ABL. I'm enjoying listening to your channel. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you to Charles Turner Jr. who says, ABL, you're spot on and calling Seattle Freeattle. I checked out some of the scene of Chad's Chop, and there was trash and graffiti all over, along with homeless encampments. I also saw ACAT, BLM written all over, of course. 100. Thank you to Spanky who says, why do media act as if certain people are the voice of black people? Is Charlamagne the elected speaker of Black House? That's a very good question. Thank you to Shroom Chica who says, I like when ABL says the word quite. Dapper Dave 2021 says, Joe Biden said he paroled 38,000 black men as vice president. Why is there no mention his crime bill put them there to begin with? There you go. You can talk about the good part, I guess, but the bad part, we're going to totally ignore. 38,000 parole, yeah. 94 crime bill locked up, hundreds of thousands. Don't talk about that. We ain't going to, we don't want to go there right now. All right. Thank y'all for being here yet again. We got calls to get to, of course. And we got 3,500 live in the building. If you like what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up on the video, like the video, share the video. And if you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Maybe I got to do a dance or something like Chelsea Handler might want me to do. But anyway, I'm playing. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now. And when you do, so click the bell so you get notified whenever I go live and/or post a new video. Flick Story Entertainment says, have you seen Trump Card? I really liked it. A view from immigrants who love America. I've not seen that yet, but I need to watch it. So you guys go check out Trump Card. I'm not sure where you can see it, but I'm sure you can find it on the Googles. All right. And we'll get to the calls in just a minute. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And there's an email to join through Skype. You can be right here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. The email's in the description box below. All righty, so let's get myself together over here, and we'll get rocking. All right, caller line, we're speaking to 607.
ABL, good evening. It's Chuck calling from North Carolina.
All righty, man, what's going on?
I was hoping to God I'd be the first one, but thank God I am. I have three things I wish to speak with you, and I promise I'll be very, very quick.
All righty.
First things first, the last debate, in my personal opinion, the best quote of them all actually came from the moderator. When she said, why would you do that?
Yeah, that was a good quote.
I mean, in my personal opinion, the way she had like the sound and the inflection in her voice, like smacking herself in the face, like, "Oh my God, you seriously did this? You're an idiot." Second thing I want to talk about was the coyote. Okay, I have to give credit to my wife. My wife is a foreigner. All right, she came into this country legally. I brought her over here legally, 100%. All right. Earlier today, right before I started watching your show, I was actually watching Officer Tatum's, and you actually had the quote of Miss Kendrick. I can't enunciate her first name. Even she actually read that on the TV screen. She's like, what the heck? And she's a foreigner, and she knows what coyote is. A foreigner from Germany.
And you have an elected official that has no idea what that means in the USA. That's crazy.
If I remember correctly, I was actually trying to search this up. I couldn't really find too much on Google. I apologize for the fourth. There is actually a movie I think William Ferrell actually starred in, and one of the things he actually played was the good coyote. That's actually where I understood the actual word came from.
Okay.
I mean, all right. I think it's like back in the late 90s, maybe 2000, nevertheless. And the final thing. All right. And this goes with, I believe, your first video of this of today. And I have for you some evidence of institutionalized racism.
Okay.
All right. If you pop up Google, all right, there has an article by the Post Millennial. If you Google the name, the article starts off as Seattle Libraries Implement Racial. The opening picture of that will say it all.
Hold on, say that one more time for me.
Seattle libraries implement racial.
Implement racial? What?
Google that.
Okay.
Open up the actual first thing on the search. I have it saved on my cell phone, but unfortunately I'm calling you on my cell phone, so I can't really look at the same time to give you the full article title.
Got you. Okay, I'm gonna search that up and see what's happening.
I think you might actually be quite interested.
I see it right here. This is on the Post Millennial. It says Seattle libraries implement racial segregation in the name of social justice.
Look what it says in italicized. Equal, separate, but equal. What does that sound like?
Wow, you're going back to Jim Crow. That's all that is. It says the King County Library in Washington State has been holding separate but equal training sessions for their employees, all in the name of social justice. Wow. If you're going backwards, that's funny.
What? I mean, I called you about this earlier before, a few weeks back. Deal with Michigan University. Like the competing town halls, or not? Sorry, town halls, but like coffee things, coffee whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, seriously, I don't know what else to say, man.
It's crazy, man. But we pretty much know what's going on. So if people are still voting for these people, then I have to ask why. I don't really understand what the motivation is.
Well, Mr. ABL, I promise you this will be quick and easy. So thank you very much for your time. Have a good evening.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, I may do a video on this one. I'm gonna read this article and see what's happening with it. All right. So we got quite a few calls on the line. I'm gonna try to get to everybody as soon as I can. Y'all just hang tight. All right. Let's go. Sweet Speaks. What's happening? Can you hear me, Sweet? 'Cause I can't hear you. If you talk. Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Oh, wonderful. Well, there's an election coming up, I've been told.
Yeah, there is an election coming up, and it's driven the nation kind of mad, really.
Yeah, so what do you think the result will be?
I think Trump will win again because it reminds me of 2016 as far as the enthusiasm gap. There's not much out there for Joe Biden, and he's not even really campaigning. That's a big problem. You have to campaign because a lot of people don't know about the person that they might vote for. They got to see him in person. They got to, see him moving around. And Biden's just not that guy. He's pretty much anchored right there in Wilmington and Philadelphia, which is like right next to Wilmington. So he's not going to be successful.
Right. Well, this has been an insane year in so many ways. But when are you following Tim Pool?
Yes.
When he suddenly joined the Trump train, and I kind of had a guess he might do that at some point, but he just went from, I don't like Trump, and maybe he did something good, but I don't like it, and then he just went, I'm voting Trump, I'm voting Republican, I'm voting a straight Republican ticket now, I'm done with the Democrats. I'm like, oh, that was fast.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, he appears to be a pretty logical guy, and if you're thinking logically, why would you vote any other way, especially right now? It doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, and then you have this recent thing with 50 Cent. I get why he wouldn't like to pay 60% in taxes. Oh, they say that's not correct, but they may not have added all the numbers together because, well, taxes are kind of complicated. But anyway, and you had this woman who said she was one of his ex-girlfriends who's like, I had to remind him he's black so he can't vote for Trump. And I'm like, yeah. The Democrats still haven't forgiven the Republicans for freeing the slaves, and they're not going to forgive the descendants of the slaves when they go vote for Republicans.
Yeah, right, exactly, 100%. They talk about, the fair transition to power, all this and that, but they've not done that in a very long time themselves on the left.
No, because I mean that's basically the same thing as when Joe Biden went. If you're not voting for me, you're not black, and I'm like, say what? What if someone would say, if you're not voting for Trump, you're not white? I mean, what would your reaction be then?
Right, it's a good question.
So, but and all this Biden, all this corruption going on, I was listening a little to what they were saying in Swedish TV. I'm not in Sweden now, but I can look at it online to see what they say. And they're like, yeah, the Biden story is basically about that Biden's son might have met with someone in Ukraine. I'm like, yeah, and then some. They're like trying to really downplay it.
Oh, yeah, they're not telling you the full story. I mean, just meeting with somebody, that can be anything. That can just be going on a vacation, hanging out, having a drink. But it's much more than meeting someone. You're talking about getting a lot of money through extortion, really, from his father, who at the time was the vice president of the USA.
Yeah, because if we think about this entire Russia story that they dragged on for how long time? 3 years, 4 years? And what I think they could conclude was that Donald Jr. at some point had met with a businessman in Russia. I'm like, of course he has. They have an international business. Of course they meet with people all over the world. That's not the same thing as being corrupt.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah, well, I hope you're right. I don't have much more to say than, well, you know, I'm almost there now. I don't want to be too optimistic before I actually have a visa in my hand, but the National Visa Center are done with me. They say they have all the documents they need. So all I need to do now is to get an appointment with a doctor here, because she needs to look at me, and so I can hand in a paper to the U.S. Embassy, and I need to hear from the U.S. Embassy on when they would like to see me. That's pretty much all that's done before I can buy a ticket. But I don't know if it's going to take 2 weeks or 2 months. I have no idea.
Well, hey, man, it sounds like you're getting closer and closer, man. So it sounds really good. It sounds really promising. You got through a lot of these big hurdles. So, you know, I can't wait till you get here, man. It'll be good for you. And welcome in advance.
Yeah, well, we'd like to see you in Tennessee once I'm here.
Yeah, definitely, man. Come on down, man. Like, this is a really good area. People are moving here all the time. Like, Ben Shapiro's coming here. A lot of people are coming out to Tennessee. So it's a really good area to visit for sure.
Yeah. By the way, did you see that there was a Trump rally in Beverly Hills like a week ago?
Yeah, I saw that. It was crazy. And then there was one today in West Hollywood, which is like a gay area in L.A. with a lot of Trump supporters.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Because I thought California was pretty much lost forever, but who knows? Maybe they'll turn around.
Maybe so. Hopefully so, because if they could turn California around, that'd be tremendous.
Yeah. So, well, you know, the show ain't over until the fat lady sings, but I hope you're right. I hope Trump wins. And, well, it's going to be the middle of the night for me, but I suppose I'll be up all night watching the news, or, well, maybe you'll live stream it, who knows, but I guess I'll be up all night to see the results.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely be up streaming that night for sure to see what's going on, but the results may be kind of tricky because of all the mail-in voting and everything else, so we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's pretty much all I got. I just hope for 4 more years, or, well, you know, 12 more years. 4 years of Trump and 8 years of Pence or Donald Jr. or Candace Owens or whoever is the next one.
That's right, man. Well, thank you for your call as always. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for taking my call.
All right, no problem.
And, hey, by the way, if people want to find me, they can just look for Sweet Speaks on YouTube. That's the fastest way to find me.
Oh, yeah, definitely. A Sweet Speaks right here on YouTube. I put that right here in the chat box so everybody can just click on it and go straight to you, man.
Yeah, so thank you for taking my call, and, well, have a good election.
All right, thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you.
I will. Well, same to you. Thanks a lot. Bye.
All right, shout out to Sweet Speaks. I put his link right here in the chat. I'm not sure where he is right now. I think he's over somewhere in a Nordic country. Shout out to my Viking brother from another mother. You know. All right, let me go ahead and just find the Sweet Speaks channel and then put that right there in the box. And thank y'all again for being here. We got a whole lot going on. I'm gonna try to get to as many calls as I can, so y'all just hang tight. All right, caller on Skype.
Hey, Anthony, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing pretty good. About you guys?
I'm pretty good. Can you see us tonight?
Hey, nice shirts you got there. I like the shirts.
Oh, I was hoping you'd like those shirts. Especially for you. And, you know, they're very nice shirts. Feel real good.
And very comfortable, high quality.
Yep. Reasonable price.
We like these better than the ones we ordered from the Trump website.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you guys like them.
Yeah.
But they are cool shirts, for real. Hey, man, the debate went great the other night, I think. Trump did exactly what he needed to do, let Joe hang himself, and I just hope everybody realizes all this crap the Democrats and the bill they're trying to pass, what Nancy is really trying to put in it is the reason it ain't happening.
Oh yeah, they're trying to put all kind of stuff in there. They're trying to bail out a lot of these cities that did bad things that made them go into the red as far as their money. So that's not what the virus bill is for. It's to help Americans to get back on track because of money lost from the virus, not to help a poorly run city, help their budget. That's not what it's for.
Yeah.
And wasn't there stuff in it too about changing the voter laws as well?
Yeah, I think so. They were trying to do way too many things. They were trying to overreach, putting all kind of goodies in there. It's like, look, this is not a goodies bill. This is about just trying to get us back on track. But that's what they want to do. And they want to spend trillions to do it. It's like, how many more trillions can we spend? We already way in the hole. We're just going to get further and further in.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got anything else? Lisa's the new Twitter queen, so.
Well, the thing that bothers me the most is why is healthcare coming up as an issue? And I don't know why someone has not confronted Joe Biden and said, look, you guys had super majority when you passed this thing. So if you knew what you were doing, why is it back on the table as a discussion? It's an epic failure. And I really, really wish government would stay out of insurance anyways and let the insurance companies compete with one another. And that's just how I feel.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Hey, do you feel like Biden kind of threw Obama under the bus the other day when he said Biden care?
Yeah, he did do that because it's like, okay, you got Obamacare already there. It's set. We know the name. Don't try to change it now. He did that a few times, and to me, that's kind of just silly because the only reason why you hear Mr. Joe Biden is because of Barack Obama. If not for him, you could be in Delaware just hanging out with your grandkids, chilling, nothing else.
Right, right.
Well, hey, man, I appreciate you taking our call tonight. We love the T-shirts.
Yeah.
Everyone should probably invest in one.
Yeah, they're very soft. They're very comfortable. They fit really good. We're happier with these shirts than the ones from the actual Trump. We ordered those online from Trump.
Yeah, and they pretty
But we
cool,
still love Trump, but Anthony's got him beat on the T-shirts.
Well, thank y'all for calling and for supporting me. I definitely appreciate y'all.
You're welcome.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Hey, they're the best. They're the best. They're one of the best callers. You guys are all good, but shout out to them. They're excellent. All right. Let's get to some more here. Let's go. Let me see. Okay, hold on one second. 209, your line, I'm speaking to. Hello, 209.
Hello?
Yes.
I was just watching your T-shirt. Anthony, I have to ask you this one question.
I can't really hear you. You kind of like really low. Speak to the microphone, please.
Okay. I'll take a speaker. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay. I want to know, what size flags do you have on the back of your wall?
You said what now? You said what size flags?
Yeah.
No. What is? I think these are large. Give me 1 second. I know what the. Hold on, because if you're trying to order, let me just make sure I'm telling you the right thing before I tell you the right thing. I think these are a large. Yes, 48 by 26.
Okay. All right. And another thing, I want to know if you saw the story from that North Korean defector that defected when she was 13 years old from North Korea.
I'm not sure I have heard that one. Was that a recent story?
Yeah, well, it was like about a week ago or something like that, maybe a month ago. She came here, and I've been hearing her every now and again she was with a guy, and I don't know his name. He's like an Italian guy or something, and he talked to her for an hour and a half, and I could only listen to it for a half an hour because of the things that she says happens to people in North Korea. It's like everybody should try to find it, and it's something about North Korean defects, you know, or something when she's 13 and stuff, just because she was starving and hungry for food, and she wanted to go toward the light, so she ended up in China first, and now she's made it to the United States, and she's telling, you know, her stories about what, you know, like when kids are 4 or 5, they have to go outside, and when it's time to execute people and watch it. And all this stuff is still going on in North Korea, and you know, so that's kind of scary. And then I heard another story about a holistic doctor that the Federal Trade Commission told him to cease and desist. He's had 107 COVID patients, and out of those 107, everyone except for one had to go to the hospital, and they all got better just by holistic medicine. And why would the Federal Trade Center close him down? I mean, question. He had tests and everything. He's got all kinds of writings and stuff out there about it and everything. And you know, he said we got to still keep helping our patients when all of this came down, no matter what, because we were their doctor then, so we got to continue, you know, to be their health care. And it's like, you know, kind of like the president was saying. He said he didn't have anything bad to say about that one drug, but like he was talking about peroxide and iodine and the zinc and the vitamin C and D and stuff like that to help us. So I just thought I'd throw that out there because he was really interesting. But that one girl, that's a story and a half, because that's communism at its, you know, best. And it's like people should really watch that, because I know we're all scared right now. We don't know what's going to happen. You know, last night I ended up putting out a post of this article on my website, you know, on my Facebook. And I have to speak, man. If I wasn't so scared, I'd be like you and Jericho and Officer Kate and Candace. But anyway, it's unreal how scared I've been that the Democrats are going to cheat and they're going to take everything away from us that we have. And then when you watch things that are really communist, then it's really, really scary.
Yeah, I'm with you. I understand 100%. I'm going to cut you off right here, but I got a lot of calls on the line. I got to get to a few more. So thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Talk to you later then. Thanks a lot.
All righty.
Bye.
Okay, let's get to some more. And we're going to do 262. He's going to ask you your name. Hello, 262?
Hi.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I hear you well. What's going on?
I'm doing good. I just wanted to ask you a couple things. Well, I wanted to first ask you, since you don't, I wanted to ask you this a question, because I asked this to a lot of people. You probably wear a seatbelt every time you drive. Is that safe to assume that?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that for me?
Do you wear a seatbelt when you drive? Is that safe to assume you wear a seatbelt when you drive?
Yeah, I do. I know where you're going, but go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, because it's the law. So when people say, "Oh, I don't wear a mask because it's the law," because it's the law. If it's a law, you should have to follow it. That's why I think that mask should be a law. You have to wear a seatbelt. It's the law. That's why I think that mask should be the law in certain places, not everywhere. I don't think it should be in your house or when you're at certain places. But if it's the law, it should be the law. I think that's my opinion.
Now
but what do you think about that?
Let's break it down though. I don't wear the belt because it's the law. I wear it because it saves lives. Like literally, like if I get into a crash, I'm not trying to fly through the windshield. So that's what the seatbelt is for me, not because of the law. because I could just not wear it where I live at because you ain't really getting pulled over for that reason. You're not. That's not really a big thing they really enforce here anyway. So if I want to, I could just not wear it, but I do because I enjoy my safety. But the mask does not actually prevent you from getting the virus. So that's a false comparison. And to talk about a seatbelt versus a mask.
No, that is a fair thing to say. I want to just ask you on that. But another thing I also wanted to see is, did you see that Facebook deleted and mistakenly deleted, they said, of a guy named Brett Weinstein of the IDW? You probably saw this. It's like a big thing that happened. Apparently he had posted something and he had gotten banned, and he was like, yeah, I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't see that, but I'm not surprised because they're pretty much deleting and or demonetizing and or reducing the reach of anybody that's halfway conservative on Twitter and Facebook. So no surprise. That's pretty much par for the course.
And it was weird because this guy's not conservative. He was like a Bernie Sanders guy. He's part of the IDW, which I found I just thought that was kind of really weird that they banned him. But another thing is Kanye West on Joe Rogan today was spinning kind of facts. I'm not a Kanye West fan in terms of like outside of his music, but when he was on the Joe Rogan Experience, I thought this man is kind of right. He's saying things. He's saying how we need to get rid of Planned Parenthood and all these smart things. I'm like, Kanye, you're spinning straight truth there, man. I mean, coming with Joe Rogan, who was a self-proclaimed pro-choice person, I just thought that was pretty good. That Joe Rogan let him talk his stuff, say all that cool stuff, and I just thought that was really kind of cool.
Yeah, I saw the preview for that, and I saw a little bit of it, but I've not had time. It's like 3 hours, so I've not had time to really view it. So
I mean, you should probably do like some I mean, I know it's a long one, but you should probably do like some segments now. Just cover like the little like big chunks because I know you do clips on it. Because it'd be cool to see you do something like that for your show since that's a pretty cool thing. But that's basically what I want to talk to you about, man. I mean, the debates were kind of crazy all over the place. I mean, I don't think Trump has any chance of winning. I mean, I think he sold himself. I mean, he's not running the same campaign he ran in 2016.
How was it different? Wait, how was the campaign different?
Okay, so last time he was going after Hillary Clinton for corruption and saying Hillary Clinton is corrupt, and not saying she's far left and anything like that, saying that she's the establishment, I'm not the establishment. And this time, he's saying that Joe Biden is corrupt now. But he's saying Joe Biden's a radical Marxist, he's Antifa, all these things, and not saying the stuff that got him elected in the first place. And people look at that like, Joe Biden is basically a moderate Republican. Why are you telling me that this man's a far-left guy?
Well, I mean, the thing is, here's the thing, though. Joe Biden is whatever the Democratic Party says he is. He has no control over what's happening. This man halfway dead.
I agree.
Wait, let me explain. This man is halfway dead. He has no control over what's going on. This is pretty much Weekend at Bernie's. He's pretty much a puppet, and the Democratic Party or Geppetto leading them through whatever they want. That's why he's talking about him being a far leftist, because the things that you're talking about, like his little plan for climate change, that ain't nothing but the Green New Deal. That's a far leftist Marxist. Wait, sir. I'm finished talking. That's a far leftist Marxist thing put out there by AOC. Okay, then he's talking about ending oil and transitioning away from energy. That's far leftist Marxist stuff. So the things that he can say that he's a moderate Democrat, but that's not reality in 2020, because the things that he's out there campaigning on are being fed to him by far leftist Marxists. It's not even about Joe Biden. He's a shell of his former self. He's not even really there. He's halfway dead. He's being puppeted by people that are far leftist. That's why he's attacking them that way, because that's reality.
Okay, well, I disagree with that a lot, because I'm a person who didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for Trump or Biden, as I said before. And if he was for those certain things, I would have said, of course I'm voting for Joe Biden. If he's for a Green New Deal, you're damn right. I voted for a candidate who's actually for a Green New Deal. I did not vote for Joe Biden because he's not.
So you're also a far leftist Marxist?
I'm a left-wing person. And Joe Biden is not a left-wing person, at least to my standards. She's more of a right-wing.
If you want to vote for the Green New Deal, I mean, that's Marxist stuff. So why you want to vote for that?
Because it doesn't go far enough. We need the OFAC, with Tulsi Gabbard promoted the OFAC, which is better. The Green New Deal is more of a corporate thing. It doesn't ban fracking. It has a lot of things in it that shouldn't have in there, like a right to a job, which I do believe in, and Medicare for all, which I also believe in, but it shouldn't be in a climate bill. That should be a separate thing that they propose separately, and they vote on that separately, because then it's like you're just giving a grab bag of stuff that people want, but you should put in a separate bill when it doesn't have something to do with that. And Joe Biden is not really controlled by most of these people. I mean, Bernie Sanders is basically being used, in my opinion. He's being used. He's being abused. AOC is being used. The letter she sent to Joe Biden means absolutely dog crap. It means nothing because she didn't get anything in return. She endorsed him before she said, hey, you need to do these policies. Bernie's saying, you need to do these policies or I'm not going to endorse you. And he didn't do it. He didn't do it because they're feckless
wait a
people.
minute now. Wait a minute. I mean, he's not in office, so how can he do anything?
Well, but that's what you do for a campaign. Like when Donald Trump got the nomination, if what's his face, let's say Ted Cruz wanted to endorse him, but Ted Cruz said, you have to sign on to these policies down or I'm not going to endorse your candidacy.
But see, okay,
I
see what you're saying. You want Biden to come out and talk about these things right now while he's campaigning, but that's not how it's going to work. Here's what's going to happen. Yeah. If in some alternate universe he were to win, the things that AOC and Bernie were asking of him during the campaign will get put into place while he's in office. He won't talk about it during the election because he's trying to get elected. He wants to reach out to the more moderate people and be center right now during the election. But once he gets in there, then he'd be rolling out the more crazy, far leftist, Marxist stuff. That's why he flip-flopping on fracking. Oh, I'm going to ban it. No, I'm not going to ban it. He wants to ban it, but he can't say that right now because he's trying to win the election. So once he gets in there, he'll ban it. You see what I'm saying?
But why didn't Hillary couldn't win? If running to the center was the way to win, then why Hillary couldn't win?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying, wait a minute now. I'm not saying he's going to win. He's going to lose, but the only chance he has of being able to win is by going towards the center. It ultimately won't work, but if you're not doing that, then you have zero chance. So this has been a good call, but we've been on for a long time. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Good call. All right. Here's a good super chat. I'm going to get to that right quick. Rebecca Foster, thank you for your super chat. She says, ABL, please tell me the top 3 reasons why my friends should vote for Trump. I have many that are asking. Okay. The top 3 reasons. Number 1, he's not a politician at all. You got those that come and go. They promise you things, but they're politicians. A lot of them are bought and paid for, and they don't really have any experience outside of D.C., being in the swamp their whole life. From being interns, from being on the Hill, and just being in that environment, they don't really have any experience beyond that. Trump came in as just a regular guy that's not a politician, and he has no real reason to be the president. He already had plenty of money, so it's like, not a politician, number 1. Number 2, the things that he's doing is actually helping America. Lowest black unemployment rate ever, lowest Hispanic unemployment rate, lowest overall unemployment rate in a very long time before the virus hit, which ravaged the whole world. Everything was going fantastic, and we'll be able to bounce back. Of course, the numbers is really hard to fight against. So you have a guy that's not a politician, not jerking your chain or nothing like that. You have very low unemployment rate, a lot of jobs, strong economy, and also he's doing things to right the wrongs of the past in the Democratic Party. You got the First Step Act going on. People been in jail for 30 years on a low-level drug offense with no other violent charges going on. Okay, they're coming home. He's doing more for, the police reform and prison reform than anybody else did in previous years. So that's the 3 main things right there that I could use. There's more, obviously, but that's just right now, top of my head, that I can think about. But the main thing for me, not a politician, all right? That's very important. You want a guy that is a guy and not just somebody that you think is being controlled by others. You don't want a Joe Biden who is a half-dead puppet being Geppetto all throughout, not D.C., all throughout Wilmington and Philadelphia to try and win this election, which he won't win, but I digress. All right, caller, you hear me?
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Hey, I wanted to give you a call because I was trying to get through the other night because you had a caller from, I think, Seattle who was asking you about Black Lives Matter. And, you gave some really good responses to him. But it reminded me kind of, I don't know if you, how much you listen to Ben Shapiro, but if you ever watch how he schools people with abortions, because they always go to, asking about rape and incest. And he always hits them with the fact of, okay, well, if we make that okay, are you good with condemning everything else? And then they always say, well, no. And he says, well, don't hit me with the marginal case if you're really not interested in that. And it kind of made me think about, that's kind of what I was thinking about when your response, while it was really good, it wasn't, to me, the crux of the whole Black Lives Matter issue. And I don't know if it maybe me and you don't think exactly like on this, but because I was kind of wanting to see what your opinion of it is. To me, it isn't about whether it's BLM or the group or the organization or political party, whatever you're going to call them. For me, it's about the fact of that BLM is a lie. That it started with a lie. It was about, and it's pretty much an attack on police, and it's based on something that's not true. So I was curious if you think that, and then on top of that, if you do, do you feel like we should be more aggressive on that message versus just saying, well, we don't agree with the BLM organization because of what their principles and standards really are?
Well, okay. So your first thing was about. Oh, I got an echo in the background pretty hard. So do you have any headphones or? Matter of fact, never mind. We good now. We good. So the whole thing about BLM, you're saying that we should just talk about it being a lie. That should be our first course of action, to go about it that way.
Well, it's not that what you're saying is wrong. Everything you're saying is right, but it's like you're leaving out. It's like we leave out, if we just go with that argument, we leave out the crux of what it is. So then if they were to say, okay, well, we don't agree with the organization either, but why aren't you protesting with us in the streets because of, that blacks are being targeted by police? And then we got to come back with, well, we don't agree with that. Well, then why didn't you just say that to begin with? Why are you acting like it's about the organization when really you just don't agree with the movement? And so for me, that's kind of where I'm at with it. That's why I don't even, when people say that stuff to me, I don't even humor it. I go straight to what I feel the crux is. But so that's why I was just curious about your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could go about it that way. But for me, I mean, the main thing is just the ideology, because that's really what it all centers around. Because if I say I'm against Black Lives Matter, their immediate reaction is, you don't think Black Lives Matter? Don't you believe Black Lives Matter? I saw Will Smith do a video, and his opening statement was, Black Lives Matter. What's the problem? You see, he's not thinking about the organization or who's behind it or how it started. He's thinking about the phrase in general. And then he thinks those that are out there are just marching for that particular phrase, not even for an organization or anything like that. So I address the ideology first because to me that makes the most sense. But it could be approached from different points of view. It may work for some in my way and some in your way, but I think we get to the same destination at the end of it. If they ask me about the organization, then I'll talk about that. Then I might even talk about how the phrase itself can be seen as different than the organization. But to me, it's kind of intertwined, but some may be different. Some may say, I don't agree with the organization. I don't know anything about that, but I agree with the phrase. And then I'll just break down why both are individually bad, but not exactly the same. They're linked together, but they're not the same. We can have a conversation where we get into the details of each, but I'll make sure that I will address each one as an individual, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. But do you think that the way it all started with, for police brutality against minorities and being targeted, do you think that is the reason it started, and is that getting addressed in that message too?
I think that's why it started, yes. And I mean, you can address that if that question were to be asked of me to get into like the organization and who's behind it, then we could talk about that. But I think the main thing, because people don't even really know that, all they know is just a phrase. People that support BLM right now in 2020 may have only heard about it right now in 2020. They don't remember 2014, 15 when it really started. All they know was right now and what's happening with George Floyd. That might have been their first sighting of BLM. So I talk about just the ideology in general first to cover everything, and then we get into the details. That's just how I would approach it, just from how I think.
Yeah, I felt like it went mainstream with Kaepernick. That's when most of America probably, it came on everybody's radar. But I appreciate the answer on that. Before I get off, I wanted to at least say one thing about the media. I didn't give him much credit, but apparently I gave him too much because I was watching that guy's statement before the debate. And when he came on there and gave credibility to the whole Hunter Biden thing, I was like, me and my wife just looked at each other and we're like, wow, that just happened. There's no way they can deny this now. This guy came out, he's forceful, he's got 3 phones, he's coming after them. And, you know, I thought they're probably shaking in their boots right now, and now they're going to be spinning this like crazy. So I'm, you know, immediately after the debate and everything, I went on and just to all the other stations to see if there was anything they said about it. And they just completely ignored it. And so that got me thinking, I was like, well, I guess I gave them too much credit because they're still not going to cover it no matter what. So I guess that story is just not going to be, it's not going to be a factor in this election at all, one way or the other. But anyway, I appreciate you taking my call, and you have a good night.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
All right, good call. And we got quite a few more. I'm going to get to some here. Let's get to the next call. Our caller line, speaker to 617.
Hey, ABL, can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Okay. All right. I'm glad I got through to you a second time. I called for the first time last week, but I wanted to say that like I feel I'm not African, I'm not black, I'm not, you know, I'm a white guy, but I'm Jewish, and Jewish people have the same expectation that we're supposed to overwhelmingly vote Democrat because the Democrats are the good guys for social justice and equality and everything like that. And when I talk to like my Jewish friends, they have this mass delusion that Donald Trump is like literally Hitler. He's literally a Nazi. He's literally like, in the same way that I'm sure a lot of black people say, you know, Donald Trump is a white supremacist and KKK person. Like you know, as a Jewish person, I'm surrounded by people that actually think Donald Trump is like a legitimate Nazi. And what I don't understand is that Donald Trump has been the most pro-Israel president of my entire life. Like my grandparents, they're in their 80s. They voted Democrat their entire life. But because of these peace deals with Israel and these Muslim countries, they voted for Trump. And it has to be some sort of mass delusion that all these Jewish people, like, you know, I'm saying that as someone who is Jewish, have a very, like, they just have this mass delusion somehow that he hates Jews, and it just doesn't add up to me. Why would that person be like the most pro-Israel person that I've ever seen in my entire life?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense because you also have Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, and his daughter has converted to Judaism, and then his kids, I'm not sure how that works ethnically, but, you know, they are following the faith as well. So I don't really understand how that makes any sense. It doesn't make any sense. People just, when they get caught up in hysteria, when they get caught up in the hype of believing things that aren't true about a person, sometimes it's kind of hard to break that. And they just believe whatever they want. It doesn't matter how many facts you throw their direction. They'll just believe it. So that's kind of what it is, just kind of a mass hysteria type thing.
Yeah. And then one more thing I wanted to say, you know, I was never like, I'm more of like a, you know, moderate type person or whatever, but I can't like in faith do any, like go with the Democratic side of politics anymore, just after everything that happened this summer. So, you know, I'm what you would call like an involuntary conservative at this point, if you've ever heard of the term. But like, you know, I will vote like conservative because I'm willing to compromise on certain things that I just can't go down that other path. But what I wanted to say is, when I started watching videos online and stuff like that, I came across Modern Renaissance Man, and you know, he had just this little channel, and I didn't think much of it or whatever. And I was independently watching your channel, and I thought it was kind of cool, like through the past couple months, how you guys kind of like linked up and stuff like that. And I saw the video of his that he posted, and I saw you in the video at the march in DC. You looked like you were having a blast. Like it looked like you were having a lot of fun. So that was cool to see.
Yeah, it was a great time, and shout out to him, Modern Renaissance Man, really good dude, really great guy, you know, on and offline, fantastic person. And that event, it was so good, man. Like I'll never forget that. It was definitely a time in life to remember. 2,000 people everybody was so nice and kind and just all for the same purpose, all different walks of life, all different races. It was great, man. Like I really, really had a good time, a genuinely good time for sure.
Yep. No burning cars, no broken windows, none of that stuff.
None of that.
So yeah. All right. Well, thanks for taking my call, ABL. Have a good night.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
All right. Bye.
All right. Good call. And 50 Cent posted something on his Instagram page. Remember 50 Cent put that picture up on his Instagram talking about, you know, the crime rates and whatnot. Not crime rates, pardon me, the tax rates. And that's why he's going to be voting Trump. Now, Instagram did something kind of sneaky to his post after he put that up, and it gained a lot of steam, and it's got 500,000 likes almost and probably millions of engagements, right? And it took the whole world on fire because he said he's voting for Trump, or he said he supports Trump. He didn't say he was voting for, but he said he supports Trump, and he doubled down on that. So here is the picture on Instagram, and if you can't see it, this just is a screenshot of, you know, something on TV. This is on probably like Fox Business, and it says the top tax rates by state under the Biden tax plan: California, New Jersey, New York State, New York City, 62%, 60%, 58%, 62%. This is from the Tax Foundation for the Biden campaign. Now, they put a little disclaimer under it. I'm on desktop right now. If I was on my phone, it'd be different. I'll show you that in a minute. But on the desktop, it says missing context. And there's like this red thing underneath it with a red, you know, little caution sign with an exclamation mark in the middle. Missing context. The same information was reviewed by independent fact checkers and other posts. And then it links to the other post. Now, here is what 50 Cent put up. This is probably what he sees on his phone. It's like blurred out and you can't even see it until you click on see post at the bottom. And then his caption, I'll read it because you're not going to be able to see it. It says, I cannot believe this. Look at what they did to the snapshot of Biden's tax plan off the news. I've never saw this before on Instagram. If Trump loses the election, he's going to jail. Talking about or Biden or talking about Trump. I don't know what he's talking about. But this is crazy. Now, stuff like this, you're just a regular person. I mean, come on. You see what's going on here. You see what's happening. And it's like, this is going to make people go the other direction when you censor them. He posted a screenshot from Fox News and they're fact checking it and blurring it out and saying that it's not really real. It's the missing context, all this, that, and the third. It's crazy. So all they doing over in Silicon Valley is red pilling more people to come to our side, and that's fine. But what's not fine is the fact that they're censoring information that we got to have that we need to know. But let me get to some more calls. All right. Let's go. Hold on one second and make sure I'm good. All righty. Matthew, what's happening?
Hey, BL.
All righty, man. What's going on?
A couple topics. Question. Did you see the what the Lincoln Project did?
Well, they've done quite a few things. What did they do recently?
Ivanka Trump and the Jared Kushner billboard.
No, I've not seen that.
Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner are suing the Lincoln Project because apparently it's very hold on, I'm trying to find the article.
So that was Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump, and it was a billboard. Lincoln Project. Let me see. All right. So lawyers for Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner threatened to sue the Lincoln Project over Times Square billboards. And yep. I'm looking at the billboards right here, and I'm gonna put it up on the screen so people can see it. It'd be kind of small still, but it's there. Hold on. Matter of fact, this is on the Lincoln Project's Twitter. I think it's still there. And here it is. Now it says 33,366 plus New Yorkers, 247,000 Americans. And that's a picture of Ivanka Trump right next to it. And then right next to that, it has a picture of Jared. And beside him, it says, in brackets, New Yorkers are going to suffer in all big caps and that's their problem. So they're basically trying to say that the virus deaths are because of them, and I guess because of their family and stuff like that. And that billboard is right there in Times Square, and it was put up by the Lincoln Project.
Yep.
Okay, and they posted, I guess, they posted the email they got from the lawyers from for Jerry and Ivanka. So yeah, that's the game. You out there putting, slanderous and or libelous stuff out there, expect to get that lawsuit ASAP.
Yep. I don't know if you saw, but Florida news, a teen sued the Florida school district for freedom of speech.
Okay.
And so the teen had a giant elephant that said Trump on it, and the school took away his parking pass. And
so where was the elephant?
It was in a school parking lot in, I guess, the teen's school.
So the elephant was in his car?
No, he had it in the bed of his truck.
Oh, so it was in his truck. Okay, so just for having the elephant in his truck, they took away his parking pass?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yep. One more thing. I don't know if you saw, but Jennifer Aniston is now in the news. She said, "It's not funny to vote for Kanye."
I think I saw that. Now, what was the problem? Like, was there anything else that was said as a result, or just it's not fun, or you shouldn't do it? Basically, trying to tell them don't vote for him because you got to vote for Joe Biden.
Trying to find the post.
All right, we live on there, boss.
Sorry. Yeah, she officially voted Joe Biden, and she weighed in on other contenders whose platforms she doesn't necessarily agree with. And yeah.
Man, but you know what that is, though? That's just them trying to protect Joe Biden. It's the same thing going on with 50 Cent and everybody else. They're trying to attack them because anybody that is against Joe Biden, they got to attack. And it can be baseless allegations. It can just be insulting things. Whatever they can do to attack Joe, that's what they're going to do. Not to attack Joe, to attack Trump. And anyone that supports Trump, they're going to do that to support Joe.
Yep. Well, thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Alrighty, bye.
All right. Shout out to the young gunner, Matthew. Young kid getting on the call and, is woke. Much more awake than I was at his age, for sure. That's all facts. And you guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. Please give the video a thumbs up if you like what you're hearing so far. Also, share the video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. And click that bell when you subscribe so you get notified whenever I go live and or post a new video. Let's get to the next one. 951, you're on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hi there. This is Dee from the left coast. Good to meet you.
All right, now, what's going on?
Well, I just wanted to pop some stuff out there. I live out here in the Inland Empire, which is in Southern California, and Riverside County is just really booming. I mean, I just wanted to give it, just kind of announce that there is quite a bit of Trump supporters out here. Trump and Pence signs everywhere. People are not being very shy and reserved about it. They just have gotten past the point of, that little fear, like we don't want to show who we are, what we believe in. That's I think it's really great. I drove up to San Bernardino County recently, and my son and I were really marveling about how much support there was. And it's really cool. It's really cool to see that. Now, just like to say that, but the other reason I called is to point out that the term coyote, the coyotes, I immediately thought that when Trump said that in the debate, that something crazy was going to happen, that they would accuse him of making up this term out of thin air. But this was a term that's been used by Latin Americans and the Mexican culture. Coyotes has been used for so long. I mean, as all of my adult life, I've known of that term, and I'm kind of up there. I'm old enough to be your mom. And, it's just really crazy. Now, I know people that have been not children, but people that have willingly paid coyotes to be transported. But what they do is the coyotes promise to bring them across the border, then hold them hostage until a family member or somebody shows up with the money. It's really, really sad. Now, that's just one thing. A person told me they got stuck in a tunnel. They thought they were going to die in there when they were being brought over. So this is such a serious situation. And this is the soft part of the story. This isn't even the bad, really, really bad part of it. We know it's way, way worse than that. And that the liberals, and, we used to call them the foaming at the mouth, the liberals, just throwing this out there and taking it it's really insulting. It's insulting to the people that have, really endured so much hardships and on both sides of the border, that they would mock this situation and jump on social media as if, they don't even know what they're talking about. They should, like you said, research it, just go up on Google and figure it out, yeah. But I did have just one last little thing. I'm trying to be quick because you've got a million callers. In California, they have Prop 16. I don't know if you've heard of it. Prop 16, I haven't seen anything about. I haven't heard anything, any advertisements. I don't see any signs. But what that is when they banned or stopped affirmative action in California several years ago, they're trying to bring it back. And, I've been thinking about that a lot because my kids, although grown now, have really struggled every time they try to apply for a job, try to go to school or do something. They're always asking about ethnicity. And they are, even though I'm white, they are mixed. And they can identify in many ways, but it's really sad because they have to sit there and spend more time figuring out what's going to be better for them because they find out, and my son even said, I found out I get more attention or I get called in for a job interview if I say I'm this ethnicity or whatever, and I don't think that's right. And I just wanted to say, I wish the people in California would really take a look at that and vote no on Prop 16 because it's like taking us back to caveman days, we're just going back in time, And Governor Gavin Newsom has made such a disaster out of the state of California. And I'd certainly like to plug the website, recallgavin2020.com, because it is so out of control out here with what he's done. It's like every day with the strike of a pen, something new pops up, and they've shut Riverside County down. Again, restaurants can't eat inside anymore now here in Riverside County. It's just a shame, So I just wanted to throw that out there. And also just tell me if you don't mind popping in and just, you can address it later or whenever you want. I mean, what can a person do? I mean, when they're asked about their ethnicity, and I think the government has forced racism upon us. I used to say, race, it's in your face, because nobody in the government or anything with the government wants to drop that. They just want us to remember to have friction between races. And, it's really heartbreaking. But anyway, if you have any pointers on how we can address that or what younger people can do when they are of mixed ethnicity, they may look one way or the other, but what can they do? In this world, I believe, in the United States of America at least, we are so diverse. I mean, there's so much mixture of culture now. Trying to split us up by race is just ridiculous. Anyway, I just want to thank you for taking my call and wanted to point those things out.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Have a good night, and thanks again, and thanks for all you do. Have a good night.
All right, now take care. All righty, great call. Excellent call. And we got a whole lot happening all over the internet, all over everywhere. Let's get to the next one. 304, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 304, hello.
Hi, this is Amber from West Virginia.
All righty, what's going on?
Not much. I wanted to talk a little bit about people with the COVID and, the kids are not in school right now. and it's how it's affecting people. I know that I'm a single mom. I was divorced, and so I have my children here at home, and also I'm a full-time nurse. And it's been really difficult as far as trying to teach my children at home and having a full-time job. And I was wondering what you think about the extra unemployment. Should it be added on to the plan that they're working on? Should they have some kind of incentive for people to help them out as far as, like, you know, cutting back to part-time in order to school their children?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure. I mean, there's going to be any kind of new stimulus or whatever they want to label it as. It should just be trimmed down to the bare essentials to get down to what people actually need, which is just more cash if they do not have their job. I don't think there should be extra on top of, it shouldn't be that much extra on top of what you would normally get, because what's happening is that people are incentivized to not go back to work. So it just really depends on,
the 600. The 600 was outrageous.
Yeah, that was too much. People just, they decided to go unemployment rather than work.
Yeah, but it seems like we have a major surge again, which means the kids are not going to be in school even longer. And maybe they could do some kind of child care program. But even they say, you know, put your kid in child care. But that's like sending them to school. So why don't they just open the school, you know? If they're going to send them to daycare, there's no sense in keeping them out of school.
Right.
In my opinion, you know what I mean? They're going to be around kids either way.
Right.
So I don't know. I just thought there's probably a lot of parents that are struggling with the thing with no school and finding out, you know, what to do. And there's not really a solution to it other than reopen the schools, I think. All the schools need to be open. Like, since we've had mask mandate here in West Virginia, we've got 5 times more cases than we did before we started masks.
Are you Canal County or you somewhere else?
Oh, no, I'm up towards Morgantown.
Oh, okay. So you like by Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but as a whole, for the entire state, our cases are exploding. And that has just been since they added the mask mandate.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and
so
you know what?
The masks definitely aren't helping.
They probably have other things going on because of the masks. They're talking about Legionnaire's disease. And, I mean, the flu is still going on. I mean, I don't think the flu just ended randomly, so that's still happening. That could be going on.
Right.
Also, false positive and everything else.
Yeah, the COVID cases are like literally 6 times higher than they were before we started wearing masks. But they say that masks work. It makes no sense.
It doesn't. Nope.
And so I'm just tired of it. I thought I would ask you what you thought about the schools and what to do with kids and working moms. So it's all difficult.
Yeah, I want everything just to open back up normally. We can just get back to it. This whole thing with the virus and the mask, I think people are pretty much tired of it. And then the longer it goes, the more we're just going to get further and further into debt. So I thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
All righty. Shout out to the caller. All right, Tariq, what's going on?
Hey, bro, what's up, man?
Everything's good, man. What's going on?
Not much, man. Just want to touch on 2 topics, man. First, with the censorship thing that you was talking about with 50 Cent, bro. I'm going to tell you this, man. This is only going to go one way, bro. And this is only going to go towards people who question Biden or the liberals or on anything. You're going to have a bunch of really just overzealous, liberal, independent, quote unquote, I'll put that in quotes. Mm-hmm. These fact checkers are just nothing but some liberal, sympathetic people who want to make sure that anything that may hurt Biden, they're going to fact check you to put some nonsense on it to make the people who look at your post question its sincerity and throw it off, man. Because like I said, this is only done one way. Like the whole thing with Donald and being a white supremacist, that should be fact checked as false information. But it's never going to be fact checked as false information. It's going to stay out there no matter how many times Donald Trump stated that he denounces white supremacy, which to me is a stupid thing to even keep saying, because like what black people have to understand is it doesn't matter how much Donald Trump denounces white supremacists. If someone's going to be a white supremacist, they're going to be a white supremacist. Okay? They're not going to listen to no Donald Trump on that. So the whole, the white supremacists, it's so stupid. They're still going to be a white supremacist. So it's just, this right here is just political theater. But yeah, man, Facebook is getting really draconian on this too. You know, they gone are the days where, you know, people are reporting people, because they still are, but they got these stupid algorithms now that just automatically ban you. But just words like, if you say black people as something negative or Democrat plantation, that can get you banned off of Facebook, bro. So yeah, man, this is just to make sure that Joe Biden wins, because they are very upset that the American people elected Donald Trump. Donald Trump was not supposed to be elected, and we have a system that thinks the American people are too stupid to think for themselves. Therefore, they have to think for us, and they got to do these stupid little checks for us to see their truth. And the other thing is, bro, Chelsea Handler, bro, you know, what she said about 50 Cent, I'm glad that's out there, because black folks really got to see how these white liberals see them, how their quote-unquote best friends see them. They see you as votes. That's all you are to them. I like it. It's just amazing. We spend so much time on the Republicans, the KKK, which black folks, not a single African American alive right now to this day can say, I know so and so has been killed by this KKK member, or the Proud Boys, or all that nonsense. You got these people right here controlling black thought. And it's like, when you look at Chelsea Handler's response to 50 Cent, it was very disrespectful on Twitter, bro. She was like, yeah, you effer. What she say? She said, yeah, you effer, I would pay your taxes. But just the way she responded, it was so serious, bro. It was not like, I'm not playing with you effer. You need to change your vote right now, vote for Biden. And I wish black people would just put their middle fingers up and curse these people out the same way they like to curse out Republicans. Like, stop letting these white liberals get away with disrespect, because it then makes the entire community look weak. Like, Chelsea Handler should have been checked on the spot. Black people aren't owned by the Democrats. You can't tell me as a black man how I should vote. F you. Like, where's this alphaness in our community? It's like, now we see why manhood in the black community is not enforced. It's squashed. Because most of our men, sadly, they are very scared. They are very weak. And a lot of them are just voting on Joe Biden because they are scared of the racist white man, Donald Trump. That is it, bro. You can go to these black men who are Democrats. Tell me policy-wise. Don't tell me about how you don't like Trump. Tell me policy-wise how Biden's policies is better than Trump. They cannot say it. I'm sorry, bro. That is a beta way of voting. You know what I'm saying? That is a man who is a pushover, who can be controlled. But that is what's plaguing the black community, bro. And yeah, man, we just need some more alpha males speaking out on this issue to wake black men up, bro. And yeah, man, that's pretty much all I want to say, man. You know, Trump has to win, bro, because I just don't want the black community to just go to sleep. You know, right now they are politically engaged, and a lot of them, some of them are waking up. Biden presidency, man, I'm sick of the naiveness. I'm sick of the excuses. I'm sick of everything in my situation still sucks, but as long as it's a white man who says nice things to me, I'm okay. I'm sick of that, bro. It's time to grow up, and that's all I got to say, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay.
All right, Tariq with the hotness all the time. Shout out to Tariq for the call. I appreciate him. And we got a lot of calls on the line. I'm trying to get to as many as I can. And again, thank y'all for being the best audience anywhere on the internets. 815 on the line I'm speaking to. 815, hello.
I was holding, I guess, trying to get on the call.
All right, so do me a favor, turn your speakers down for me.
Oh, where is my... Oops.
Uh-oh, they hung up. Okay, so anybody calling in, make sure that you have your volume down, so when you get to the phone, you can just go ahead and turn it off, because if I can hear it, and so can everybody else in the stream. All right. I didn't hang up on them. That just happened to them. Let's get to the next one. Maybe they call back. I'll remember their number. Okay. 330, you're on the line. I'm speaking to.
Oh, this is Brian. How you doing, ABL?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Not too shabby. Boy, you're a hard man to get a hold of.
Yeah, the phone lines are blowing up, so I'm glad you're able to get on.
Oh, my. Oh, my. Hey, you brought up the three things that you thought were positive about Trump. I'm not sure exactly how the question went, but the first one you mentioned, not being a politician, that's like my number one.
Same here. Absolutely.
Number two, no new stupid wars.
Big one. Very big one.
And number three, pro-life. So there's my top three.
Hey, I love it. That's excellent. It's, the no new wars. That's really big because a lot of these presidents, whether they left or right, sometimes they want to get in there and just, start something right away. It's like, why do we need to go over here and fight these people for what? What are we doing? And they don't call it wars. They call it, they call it just helping or a little assistance. But why are we over there for 20 years and people are dying?
Right.
Like, it's called a war.
Yes, it is, sir. I think it's been 70 years. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's been 70 years since a president. He's the first in 70 years that hasn't got us into new crap.
Wow, long time.
I believe that's correct. I think that's what I heard. But those are my top three. I thought I would just shout that out to you, and it was cool to finally get a hold of you.
Well, I'm glad you're able to get on and give me those good three top ones. Thank you for your call.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a good evening.
All right, same to you now.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, very good. Top one, not a politician. Second, no new wars, really big. Matter of fact, bringing troops home from Afghanistan, Iraq, etc., and also pro-life. Somebody's got to be there to protect the babies. All right, let's get to the next one. 574, you're on the line. What's speaker to?
Rob.
All right, what's going on?
I was just wondering, through this stuff with the elections and pandemic, why aren't we talking about feeding our children and the homeless?
I mean, that's a really good thing to discuss.
Because growing up, I remember them going over to other countries and having wars and rebuilding them and helping them feed their children.
Yeah, I think we should definitely cut that out and focus more on developing our own nation for sure.
Yeah, that's what's been going through my mind, because everybody just stopped worrying about the children and worried about these two old guys.
Right.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to just call and say.
Well, I thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
And you and Tatum, keep up the good work.
Oh, will do. Can't do nothing else. Appreciate it.
All right, no problem. Have a good night.
Very good point. Can't argue with that one at all. That is rock solid. All right, call you on the line. One speaker to 617.
Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, ABL.
What's up? What's happening?
Hey, the guy that was talking now, the yelling and screaming, we got to get rid of those Democrats, we got to do this with Biden. Does he understand how the country is run? Do you understand?
What are you talking about?
So, okay, he said that we should get rid of all the Democrats, we should do this, we should. Now, sure, I mean, you shouldn't be criticized for voting for a Democrat, voting for a Republican if you're black. Definitely not. I mean, you should have the option to vote for whatever you want to vote. That should be your option. Nobody should bash you about it. Nobody should bash your IQ. Nobody should bash. But the question for him is why President Obama couldn't pass criminal justice reform and prison reform in 2014. I mean 15. What is the reason they couldn't pass it? Does that guy knows? The guy that was yelling and screaming, does he knows? Do you know why?
I mean, I don't know. You tell me.
Because Republicans turned their back on him. Tom Cotton, Lindsey Graham, Michelle Bachmann, what is the other one? Steve King, Ted Cruz, they all were saying, if you commit the crime, you should do the time. We should not let these criminals put them in the streets. That's what they said.
So what was in the bill?
Well, the same thing was it was a huge bill. It was a bill concerning about we should train people in prison so they could get the skills necessary to compete in the marketplace. And instead to have somebody in prison doing time, we should teach them how to do something vocational, a training program. If it's in a drug program, if you have an addiction, we should put it in a drug program in prison. And also, we should teach them the skills that are necessary to compete, and we reduce their time. Let's say you got 5 years, and then within the 5 years, you take a training, the time is reduced, and instead to be sitting in prison doing nothing. Who's the first president that visited a prison in American
hold on,
history?
wait. So is that all that's in the bill?
No, there were many things.
Oh, okay.
So
maybe. Sir, listen. So maybe there were some things in the bill, aside from what you mentioned, some of the nice highlights. Wait. I'm not done talking. You got. Let you speak. Let me speak. Now, maybe there's some other things in the bill, aside from what you just mentioned, the nice highlights that they did not want to pass. Therefore, it didn't pass. The same thing is going on right now with the Democrats and their bill for the virus. Okay, you want to help people out, but at the same time, you want to say, okay, let's bail out failing cities. Let's bring in this and bring in that and the Green New Deal and everything else. Unrelated things. Maybe that was the case back then.
No, that's not always the case. Let me explain to you. I just told you, they walk away. They didn't even decide to meet with Democrats to have a bill. The preparation bill that it has came from the White House and lawyers that were working with releasing people from prison when Obama was giving clemency to gave to over 1,000 people from prison. That bill. So when the Democrat Republican, okay, let's meet together, they didn't even meet to have a bill. So they mean they have no intention to working with Democrats. Second, when Obama wanted to increase funding for black colleges, when they look, okay, yeah, black colleges they're in the disadvantage compared to white schools. He wanted to increase funding. The Republicans say, no, we can't spend money right now. He said we can't spend money. The deficit is ballooning. So Obama, okay, so he only didn't give him that much money compared to Trump. The reason that Trump got all that money because in the House of Representatives, Democrats voted in favor. So that guy.
Okay, so what was the money? Sir, quiet. You can't talk when I'm talking. You know how that works. So I need you to shut up right now. I need you to go ahead and shut up. Anyway, if you're talking, nobody can hear you at all. I'm gonna talk. Now the question is, how much money was Obama requesting versus what he was giving them? So you're leaving out key details. You can't just say, oh, he couldn't get more money because the Republicans didn't want it. You're not telling me the increase that he wanted to give. So you're leaving out some very important details.
Billions of dollars that Trump did. Trump did even more.
No, so you're not telling me what the number was.
So what are you talking about?
So, sir, listen. Quiet. The question was, how much money did he want to give? You're saying it was less, but you don't know what the number is. How do you even know that it was if you don't know what the number is? Give me the number that it was, and then tell me what he wanted it to increase to. And was there anything else in that particular bill, if there was a bill for the increase, that was unrelated to the whole thing, that was just kind of ancillary that he went ahead and shoved in there, what they call pork? Was there anything like that? Yay or nay? So at the whole time I was talking, nobody could hear you, so I'll give you the floor now to answer the question. Do you know what the question was, or were you just busy talking and not listening?
Rumbling around.
Okay, so
Obama gave them $4 billion. Trump giving $25 billion. That's
okay,
what Trump
so
gave
what
it.
was? But that's $25 billion over 10 years. Be honest. So anyway, what was the amount of money that Obama wanted to give versus what the number was originally?
Billion. It was less than $25 billion. I don't know the exact
Okay, so you don't
number,
know. All right, so move on.
less.
You don't know, so move on.
Okay, so we all know. I mean, people that understand politics know that Republicans have the tendency to vote against domestic spending. Hello?
Go ahead, keep talking.
So they're against voting domestic spending that includes spending for social programs that help black people. That's the core. That's the core. And then when Obama came in office, it got even worse. They didn't want to meet with Obama. The Republicans say they just don't meet with him. When Obama wanted to pass the first stimulus bill, they won't even meet with him. At least meet with the guy. The Democrats are willing to work right now. they're working with the Democrats right now. They're working with the Trump administration in passing the bill. The Republicans turning it back, but the Democrats are willing to work. The Democrats has problems. Yes, they feel like they own black people vote. It is true. That's true. They feel like they own black people vote. That is wrong. That is true. But also, there, if black people, if you could choose to vote 9 out of 10 for the benefit of their communities, Democrats will deliver.
Oh, is that
That's
right?
the truth.
So why is
That's
it?
the
So
fact.
why
Look
is
at
it?
the
So
fact.
why is it? Why is it that Democrat-run black areas look like third world countries?
That's not completely true. You're looking at the bad areas. You
Tell
look at Philadelphia,
me
you look at- but you're
tell me
looking at the
5
bad
areas, sir. Quiet.
You're looking at
Quiet. Tell me 5 nice Democrat-run black areas. Tell me 5.
So you okay? So
Tell me.
You're gonna tell me New York is run by the Democrat, by the black.
New York is
So
a
you're
nice
gonna
area
tell
in the
me-
black
you're gonna
areas.
tell
Excuse me.
Queens,
Are you telling me?
Bronx looks way much better
What?
when it was run by Republicans. It is true. You're gonna tell me.
Look. I need you to answer the question. I'm gonna get to the next call. The question was, tell me 5 nice black areas run by Democrats. If you can't answer that, I'm gonna get to the next call and I'm gonna hang up on you.
It's not true what you are saying.
All right. Have a nice day. All right. Let's get to the next one here. Thank you to Ivan for the call. I appreciate him, but we don't got all day to be going ring around the rosy. All righty. Let's go. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill, it's Sonia. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain about yourself.
All right. So, if systemic racism exists, you think that Chelsea Handler is a part of that?
Hey, apparently so. I mean, she definitely made a very, very racist comment. Well, a few racist comments live on television. So she definitely would be part of it if there is a thing.
I agree with that caller that you had earlier. I don't know what his name is, but he's always very passionate and he's angry and he makes sense. Why aren't people mad at her? Nobody calls her out on it. I mean, if black liberals are okay with what she said.
I mean, I think so. I mean, I think I was saying that earlier. I was like, okay, you're going to have these white liberals come out and they're going to be very racist against a black person. And you're going to have black liberals that sit right there and applaud. Now, some black liberals are saying, hey, wait a minute, you can't say that. I'm a Biden fan. I don't like Trump, but you can't say that. Some of them. But there's quite a few very quiet people, and the silence is deafening.
Yeah, you're right. You did say that earlier, that eventually they might even let them say the N-word to someone else. As long as they're a liberal, it'll be okay.
That's right.
It doesn't make any sense. And the funny thing is, I used to watch Chelsea's show back in the day, and she was not politically correct at all. Her jokes were always off color. She used to have people on her panel. Lonnie Love, she was one.
Yeah.
And I think it was an Asian comedian, too. I forget his name, Roy Choi. I don't remember. But she was always condescending to them, and she always made comments that was like, a little sketchy, but I figured, hey, she wants to, say what's on her mind, and that's what comedy's about, no problem. And then she had a Mexican sidekick named Chewy, which, I don't know. Nobody has a problem with that. And then all of a sudden now she's this, anti-everything person. I don't know where that came from because she didn't give me that impression that she was PC, So it seems hypocritical how she went that route. I don't know if it's all because of Trump or what.
I mean, I can't call it. Maybe that's just her new career path. I don't really know. But a lot of these people, they're in that Hollywood environment, and it's kind of like peer pressure. You got grown 50-year-old women getting peer pressured, and it must be sad to be her.
And then she publicly says that she'll pay his taxes, right, if he doesn't vote for Trump. And I'm thinking, isn't that a bribe, and isn't that voter intimidation or interference at least?
Yeah, I think it's not actually legal to do that. So that's really sketchy.
Yeah, then I'm thinking, instead of paying his taxes, why don't you let the man keep his money, or better yet, mind your business, because he has a lot of black actors on his show and 1,000,001 projects. And has she ever offered to help the black businesses that were burned to the ground? I mean, she wants to throw her money away.
Right, exactly.
I never heard her say anything like that. And then the thing about the coyotes blew my mind. But to be fair, let's just pretend that we're not all experts on every subject. You may not know what that means. But since these people are political and these people are online, and a lot of them, as you can see, are supposedly educated and have these professional careers. That woman was an attorney, I think you said. they couldn't even just take a minute to figure out what it was before they spoke. She said that how does a coyote bring over a whole human? And I'm thinking, you don't sound like you have a whole brain.
Not at all. And the crazy part is, it's like, okay, you have your cell phone right there in your hand. All you got to do is take a moment to look it up and see what's going on, but it's just simply not doing it.
No, it doesn't make any sense. And then I'll leave you with this because I know you got a lot of callers. My son, he's hearing all this political stuff ever since I've been watching you. He doesn't know anything about it. So one day, he can't really pronounce words correctly all the time. So he tells me, Mommy, what's a Democratin? And I thought, you know what? That's exactly what they are, because ever since Trump got elected, they released them.
That's right. Absolutely.
Right? Okay, have a good night.
All right. Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right. Great call from Sonia. And you guys are the best. Let's get to a few more. 508, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, what's up? It's your boy Joey from Massachusetts. I didn't call in the last 5, but I'm trying to get through now. How you been?
Everything's been good, man. Can't complain about yourself.
I'm doing all right, man. So I wanted to read, a couple small verses from Proverbs 3, if that's all right with you, real quick.
Go for it.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. So what I got here is, for the length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee, and let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck, write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord in all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Be not wise in thy own eyes, fear the Lord, and depart from evil. And those words can be found in Proverbs 3. And I do appreciate you. I'm a God-fearing man. I believe you are the same. Thank you for putting on these live shows and taking these calls. And you are a busy man. I'll tell you that right now.
And thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, God bless you, man. Bye.
All right. Good call. Good call. And the lines are blowing up. I'm going to try to get everybody on as soon as I can. Y'all just hang tight. 773, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, Frank from Chicago. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Can't complain. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Listen, ABL, I got to tell you, I love your show. I'm so glad I found you and just everybody else. Keep doing what you're doing. But I wanted to talk to you real quick about a few things. China interference in the electoral process and information. And I was just wondering, something occurred to me. Why is it inappropriate to say that black people or black people matter, but not necessarily Black Lives Matter, the group? I mean, why is it just inappropriate to say, like, black people matter? I mean, just simply like that, as opposed to Black Lives Matter. I guess that's my question.
I mean, it's kind of like the same thing, ain't it? I don't really see the difference.
Well, I guess I was just thinking about one of the callers that you had on earlier. But really, you know what? I'll think about that question a little bit more and retract that. But back to what I was saying, China interference in the electoral process. Your thoughts, please.
Oh, well, I mean, that's definitely a real thing. But I feel like that the Chinese may be interfering in the way that the opposite side, the Democrats, that they would like, or if they focus on China where the real threat is, where the actual threat is, then the whole thing about Russia falls apart. Because if you focus on China and look at them, then you'll see the reality of where the threat is. Then they can't say Ukraine and Moldova, Belarus, Russia, all these former USSR places. They can't have the Red Scare thing. They can't focus on that because then they're gonna focus on the actual problem. And beyond the election interference, there's a lot of things happening from China that you got to worry about. Intellectual property theft, a bevy of things that you got to worry about. But if you do that, then it takes your eye off the ball of Red Scare, and that goes against what they want.
I think that's the video I just saw with the Chinese reporter in Washington. I can't remember if that's the exact video. I just saw it. I freaked out about it, and I was like, I can't believe that this is happening. With TikTok and TikTok, like just spying on us and actually sending, messages in favor of Joe Biden, even though people don't really were interested in politics when they signed up for TikTok. But it was scary to see in this one video, and if I could find where it was at, I'll make mention of it, but I think it was on Crossroads, possibly.
Okay.
Yes, China threatens elections. It's on Crossroads. Anyway, if you haven't had an opportunity to watch that video, I recommend watching it. It was just kind of amazing to see how China can be so influential that they could get their own candidate, elected. And, I was, freaked out about it. And, I don't know. Had to talk to you about it and see what you thought about it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but that should be what we focus on rather than this whole Russia thing. That's not even the problem. The actual issue is China, really.
It's a scary thing, man. Well, thank you for your time. You have a good night.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you. All right, great call. Yeah, China, that's an actual beast right there. Let's not be worried about former Russian, former USSR. That's not even the issue at all. All right, let's get to some more here. 714, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Awesome. ABL, thanks, man. I should get a trophy for calling in this many times. I'm gonna make this real quick, real brief. So I think it's kind of funny when people call Trump selfish and all that stuff. And it's like back in 1990 when he did that interview, he was saying how he only time he would run for president is if this country really needed him. And this dude, 70 years old, came out of retirement to save America, bro. I don't know how selfish that is for a man to come out of retirement when he was rich, wealthy, living a stress-free life, and all of a sudden he realizes that his country needs him and decides to run for president. That's one. And then two, the fact that I feel like America is more interested in sports to where they're more serious about it, to where when it comes to politics, they if it were to be politics and sports, if their favorite sports team were to go 4 years with the same coach with no playoffs, they'd want that head coach out. Whereas Joe Biden is running for president, guy hasn't done anything in 47 years, yet they think giving him another 4 is going to do something. So I just think that's kind of funny, and I think if America were to see that, we live in a weird time right now. Crazy.
I agree with you. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You worried about your football coach, basketball coach. It's like, well, this team's performance does not actually affect your everyday life. It really doesn't. But you're talking about the guy in the White House. That can affect your life and your kids' lives and your kids' lives for generations to come. Very good point you made there.
Right. And what's crazy, though, too, it's like I feel like right now, like when you're driving down the street, you're going by houses and stuff, you see American flags outside, you're 99% chance that person is more than likely a Trump supporter, whereas you got Biden signs, and I've never seen an American flag outside someone's house with a Biden sign. And it's almost like if you're voting for Trump and it's like pro-America versus Biden and Kamala, and it's like anti-America. So it's like people that are supporting Biden and Kamala, are they anti-American, or do these people that are supporting him, do they even like America and all that stuff? And if they don't, why are they still here? It's like just wasting their time and everyone else's time. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, it is.
No, I just wanted to thank you for taking my call. It took a good 30 minutes or so to get in, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad I got to say what I wanted to say, and thank you, and keep up the good work, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Yep, bye.
All righty. Good call. Let's get to some more. 602, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Charles. How are you, ABL?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Can't complain. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Well, I kind of wanted to break some news. I just watched because another YouTuber, Salty Cracker, I think it is Gateway. What is it?
Yeah, be careful. Be careful here.
China.
Be careful here.
Sorry, I was just saying that China's leaked some videos about Hunter Biden, and they're pretty damning. You can see his face and his voice, and
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear about that?
Yeah, I did hear about that. I mean, that was like that broke right when I was starting the stream. So right when that was going on, I saw it. To anybody that's listening, please do not watch the tape. I mean, if you could take any advice from me, do not watch that tape just for your own sake. If you gotta watch it, then go for it. But don't say I didn't warn you. But anyway, yeah, the tapes are pretty damaging. Um, and Twitter is censoring it really hard. You can't even post that link. There anything about Hunter, anything about the tapes is pretty much just being X'd out right now. But at the same time, when the Giuliani thing came out from the Borat movie, they had no problem not only letting it just be on the platform, but also boosting it up by promoting it through the trending topics list, which is curated manually by Twitter. So that's pretty weird how that happens.
Yeah, and that's really what's scary. I was talking to my mom. My mom's a Democrat, and I was telling her, I was like, what's really fearful for me is seeing some of these tactics work. You know, like when I was younger, I feel like 2020 has been a much more racist year than 2019 or 2018. And I'm just so tired of people kind of being like divided along those lines and whatnot. And I'm scared that like, and also what social media is seeing happening, they're going to be like, wow, we've got one of the most effective tools in the world. And, you know, and also if Trump's not reelected, like who knows with all of these investigations if they're not going to pan out.
Right. I mean, yeah, I think that the election is very important because if you don't get Trump in there, a lot of these things are just going to pretty much go away. The Hunter Biden thing will go. All of that will pretty much be gone because they have no incentive now to even talk about it.
Yeah, and it's a frightening thought. You know, I'm in my early 20s, so like I was in high school and middle school kind of when Obama and all that was going on, and I've got a dad who's conservative and a mom who's Democratic. And my dad was always really pissed off, and I never really saw the light. But, you know, I went into college and having all these other people talk and whatnot, I would kind of research the issues. And it's eye-opening to see how much money we've started spending, you know, as a country, just out of our GDP, like how much of our American money is being spent together. It's like doubled and tripled. And no one really seems to realize that or just be like, you know, what are we getting out of this? You know, what's going on? And I'm just scared that the government, you know, they're taking on all this money and they're just doing too much. You know, it's not their responsibility. They say they can make it more efficient, but it just time and time again, it doesn't work.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Too much spending unnecessarily. We can definitely just reduce a lot of our debt by reducing the spending because the things that are being, the places where the money is going does not make any sense. It's being wasted. And then they say we need more and more and more. Why do you need more money when you're not spending what we have appropriately?
Exactly. And I'm like I'm okay with giving some taxes, but it's like explain it to me and like have it make sense. I really wish that like with some of this stuff we could have incentive for things to work better. When we just throw our money to the government, they don't really have a lot of accountability. And you know, I wish there was a happy medium between the two. I've been thinking about it, but I feel like at some level it just doesn't add up. The government just wants to have full bureaucracy and control if they're going to make those promises.
Right. Exactly.
Do you think that there's any kind of happy medium where it's like we could produce some money and say, hey, we're going to give $300 of vouchers for medical care to all Americans. That way everyone can get a physical or whatever. Or does something like that just not work in general?
I mean, the government money being spent like that, it's just going to be hard. We just got to reduce the spending, really. I'm all for if you are a person that's in extreme poverty, maybe you can get a little bit of help, but anybody else, just go out there and get it. And really the main thing that's making healthcare very expensive is the government's intrusion. It's the same thing with with education, with higher education. It was much more affordable before the government came in and guaranteed loans. But then when the government came in, it's like, okay, you can get this loan and get whatever kind of money you want. So they look at it like, well, we're not charging you the money, we're charging the government the money. But when it was you that was responsible, it was much more affordable. And you didn't have this big debt on your back that'll follow you throughout your whole life, and you couldn't even get out of it through bankruptcy.
Yeah, and there's just all this disconnect too. You know, if a politician is doing well, like to the people, it's just kind of how they display it. It's what they tell them. But like if you're a businessman, at the end of the day, you're the person paying the taxes and the numbers, and you can either keep your building open or not. You know, you're not just a spokesperson for it. And I think that's like a lot of younger people my age too. Like I'll try to be like, hey, you see this on the news or this and that, and they go no. And they just don't really care anymore. They've just gotten used to the idea of like, you know, you kind of just throw some money at the government, don't expect much out of it and whatnot. And that's why I just get so tired of hearing like, hey, let's put taxes up $4 trillion. And I'm like, when's the last time you guys thoroughly explained out to someone, like how this is going to work? Like, I'm all for stopping, our greenhouse emissions and whatnot, but like explain it out. How are we going to have all the batteries? How are we going to get the jobs? How are we going to replace like the cheap energy? And no one wants to answer those questions. They just want to say ban it all.
Right. Yeah. It's just kind of silly how that works, man. But thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Yeah. Have a good one.
All righty. Great call. Okay. 815, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, how are you? Well, I already know you're doing great. Everybody acts that, right? So I want to apologize first earlier. We have COVID and our hearing is like pretty bad. So I apologize. I want to send a shout out to your moderators and your wife. She is awesome.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. And I wish she's just as intelligent and knowledgeable. I wish she had a show too. That would be awesome.
Right.
So here's one question that I have about your join button. I don't see your join button. Now, I did join on Patreon for the ABL squad, so that's cool, but I don't see one on yours. I don't know if YouTube blocks them, if I'm donating to too many conservatives, or do you know anything about that?
Okay, now my question to you is, do you see the join button on other channels?
Yes.
Okay, so it might just be mine. I don't know what's going on. I need to contact them. So I don't really see what's happening. I don't know why that's like that. It's just kind of weird. People say sometimes they do see it, sometimes they don't see it. It might just be a technical problem.
Okay. And here's my one question I'd love to hear your thought about. So Obama hasn't really been involved during this election with him supporting with him supporting Biden so much. But now he's out there. So you think possibly that he was like the little secret weapon or that little closing touch? Because all he do, I did watch some of his, all he did was just try and down Trump and pretty much tell his supporters we're idiots for supporting him.
Well, I mean, it might be a little bit too late now because he came out for Hillary Clinton way early, like September in 2016. Now we're almost into November. It's pretty much a 0 hour. So maybe it'll help, but I'm not really sure if it will. I think that that might not really do anything.
See, I was wondering that because you know how they kind of use Michelle as the star point during the DNC. So that's why I was curious about that.
Okay.
And when it came to George Floyd and Chauvin, I'm not sure if I'm
Derek Chauvin.
Chauvin. And thank goodness he got at least one charge drop. But I understand that the training that they do is, I mean, it's legit. That was their training. I mean, he shouldn't be charged for that training. But is it possible just because of the length of time that he applied to his neck and that he knew in advance he was saying that he couldn't breathe, would that be some type of grounds for some type of charge? Maybe that manslaughter one?
They might try to do that, but the thing is, you got to be able to prove that the knee you got to prove that the knee actually killed him. If there's no evidence that the knee actually killed him from a medical standpoint, then you can't use that. You know, and then the thing about it, the knee was a trained tactic. So that'd be what he counters with. He said, okay, well, you're trying to tell me that his knee wasn't right, but y'all trained me to use this knee. There's videos that are actually shown from Minneapolis Police Department that shows the knee being a tactic that was supposed to be used. So they're going to have a hard time being able to get beyond that.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay. That answers my question. Again, thank you. I know you got a ton of other callers, so I want them to get in. And I want you to know, callers, look, I'm at the 178th mark call, but I got in, so y'all just keep it up.
All right. Well, thank you for your
Thank
call.
you, ABL.
And-
Appreciate it.
and
God
get-
bless you all.
And get well from that virus too. Get over that virus.
Hey, you know what? We caught it going to a football game, and we were wearing masks, everybody. And others were wearing masks, and we got it. And that's just what it is. But if anything were to happen, thank goodness we were able to live life and support our son and the team. I'll put it like that. But thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Not a boy out. All right. Bye, guys.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Don't even worry about it. That'd be totally fine. I'm talking to her right now, and she's straight. She'll be fine. And like you said, you caught it with the mask. And your man, Anthony Fauci, that guy said that the virus cannot, the mask will not prevent the virus. And then they said, okay, the mask prevents you from spreading it. Well, apparently not. If everybody else had on masks too. You see? All right. 318, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Derek.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, man. So I seen in the chat earlier some people were talking about being a felon and not being able to vote. I'm not sure if it's state to state, the laws, but so I'm a two-time felon, and I've never been interested in politics ever before. And in 2016, you know, I started thinking about it, but it wasn't until I seen exactly what Trump actually was doing that I could actually see for the first time ever a president actually. I'm seeing differences in my annuity, and I'm just seeing more gains and gains the last 3.5 years. And I just want people can vote if you are a felon, and I don't know if is that state to state.
Yeah, it depends on where you are, and you can do different things depending upon where you are. Like you might be able to get your rights restored, get your record expunged. It's different things you can do to gain your rights back. So it's not just a blanket. You can't vote if you're a felon. It all depends on where you are in the country.
Well, and I also just want to tell you, man, I appreciate everything you put out because I tell you what, for the longest, I had a bad taste in my mouth just for the simple fact that if you make a simple mistake when you're 18 years old, everything can be taken away from you for the rest of your life, no matter what you do to redeem yourself. But I will say, man, in the last 3.5 years, Trump has made me be proud to be part of America, how he stands up and speaks for us, and just watching how all the haters on him, that's what actually made me start liking him so much, is how so many people hated him, and just I would watch and just see all the lies that they would tell, and it just made me start getting more and more interested, like, why are these people saying these things that come to find out it's all lies. And then I listen to people like you and Tatum and Candace Owens, and just really have opened my eyes to a whole nother world in the politics. And man, I appreciate it because I tell you what, man, I've gotten real interested in it. And matter of fact, I tell you what, because of you and Candace and all them, y'all are the reasons that I actually went out and voted for the first time in my life.
Well, that's amazing, man. I'm glad we can make that happen for you. And, you know, it's a great thing to know that we're making a difference in people's lives, man. So thank you for sharing that with me, man. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Thanks for all your shows, man.
Oh, no problem, man. Thank you for the support. Appreciate you for calling.
All right, later.
All right, great call. Yeah, shout out to everybody that, you know, was a felon and was able to turn their life around and do the right thing and get their rights back. Yeah, I think you can even get a gun if you're a felon, depending upon where you at. Like, you can get that right back. I think you should, as a felon, you should be able to petition to get your rights back. Like, you got to be able to show that you deserve it. Because, like, some guys, you got violent felons, repeat felons, guys that are shot in the dwellings and stuff like that. I mean, should you be able to go to Bob's gun shop and get a gun and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should be able to do that if you're proven, okay, I'm good to go. I'm not going to be engaging in any kind of criminality. Okay? That's what I would say. Because I know in Virginia, if you're a felon with a gun, that's 5 years. That's automatic 5 years. It don't matter if you got a bullet, even with just a bullet in your pocket, 5 years minimum. So that incentivizes people to not go out there and commit more crime. But that's just for felons, and it works. It really does. But you should be able to get that right back. You should petition to get it back. That's how I look at it. 484, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's me, Miles. Can you hear me?
I heard you well.
Hey, I had some questions, though, to be honest. Actually, compared to what, what's her name, Chelsea said?
Yeah, Chelsea Handler.
Yeah, that was, I was like, there's no doubt in my mind she's racist. She is racist. That was completely out of line and out of pocket what she said, and it's just, like, why even go there? But like you said, that's how white liberals think.
Yeah, I mean the crazy people that's out there, the extremists. That's how they think, and that extreme kind of behavior is becoming more and more common. Like I was saying, that's not even any kind of way uncommon. I get that kind of talk all the time in my comments, emails, all of that. You know, that's normal now, unfortunately.
Yeah, and another thing I wanted to add that a lot of people because years ago, back in 2016, when Trump got reelected, to be honest with you, I didn't care for Trump or Hillary Clinton. But then when all this started to go down, and then everybody saying, okay, well, all this COVID stuff, then George Floyd, I knew this COVID stuff wasn't as bad as they said it was from the beginning. Even though people are dying, I'm not trying to downplay it, but I felt like there was a lot they weren't telling us. And like the lady said from before, it's like the masks are killing, like they're creating more of a problem.
Oh yeah, definitely. The masks are definitely becoming a bigger problem than what they were supposed to fix, for sure.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to say to you, because I'll tell you this story. Our coworkers, right? Like the managers, you have to come in the store. Customers have to wear a mask. You know, all managers have their set of rules. You got one manager that takes the pandemic seriously. Others that just don't care too much because it doesn't affect them. Plus, our state is open. So our employees tried to get into an argument with a customer who refused to put a mask on. The customer told them, no, you're not going to take away my rights, so I'm not going to put a mask on. So the store manager said, look, it's not worth it. Don't argue with the customer. If he's not going to wear a mask, just leave it alone. You know, they were going to try to make a big deal out of it. It's just, like you said, most people are getting tired of this mask stuff. I'm starting to see it more and more. And I'm kind of getting glad to see it, that people are waking up to this.
That's right, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, all right, I'll talk to you. Oh, yeah, and ABO, remember that rap battle video you were telling me about with Joe Biden? I remember you made a video on that.
Oh, yeah. The Joe Biden sponsored rap video, the battle rap video. That was crazy.
All right, so get this. I looked up the actual video, and it said it was uploaded from a YouTube channel named Joe Biden. And also, it had 43,000 views. It had 3,000 dislikes and, like, 107 likes.
Yeah,
1,000 likes.
Yeah, it didn't go over too well at all. People didn't like that too much.
Yeah.
And, you know, the audience spoke.
Yeah. And it had 3,600 dislikes. I was like, that's pretty amazing. It was hilarious.
Right.
Yeah. But all right, I'll talk. I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna get off and let other people get a chance. Thank you, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
Alrighty. We'll get to some more calls here. All right, call you on the line. I'm speaking to 757.
Hi, hey, this is Lively. How are you, ABL?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Pretty good, thank you. So basically with this whole political stage that's going on and that we're seeing, I'm just looking at everything from like a spiritual stance. So when Trump was first put into office, I wasn't sure what he was going to be about, because there was so much coming against him, like right before he was elected. And they were trying to make it seem like he doesn't care for women or anything like that. And then, of course, you hear, oh, he's racist, and everything of that nature. But after he was in office, like, you know, I just seen Like, it was so much more different things that was going on with him as he was running. And it's like he has the mindset of a businessman. And I appreciate that and respect that because he gets straight to the point. He's not up for small talk. He wants to, just chop it down and get to the matter of things. And that's what we need for this country. So then seeing how, crazy the left is against him, I'm like, why are they so hypocritical? And then they are going after, a minor population, the African-American community. And they feed off of them because the Black culture, supposedly, is basically lawlessness. They feel like, okay, as long as I get to do whatever I want to do, I'm free. And, our community does not hold themselves accountable for anything. So I prayed to God, Lord, I just want somebody, out there on that platform to where they can reach people, so they can, tell the truth and let these people know from the African-American community that you need to hold yourself, accountable. If you do something, there's consequences, whether good or bad. So it's like the Democrats love that from, the Black community because they come from the same spirit. They don't feel like they have to do anything, of the laws and stuff that they set, but they expect people to listen to what they're putting out there. So, with the last debate that just happened, how do you, what questions would have asked both of the candidates? Because I feel like they keep asking the same questions over and over again.
Yeah, they do ask a lot of the same questions. I think they pretty much asked everything that I would want them to ask. Maybe I would ask something about what they would do differently than the last person. Okay, all right, talking about Joe Biden. You've been here for 47 years. You're the vice president 8 years. What are you going to do differently than what you did for that amount of time, especially as a vice president? You're talking about everything you're going to do. What would you do that was not done back then? And if you didn't do it, why didn't you do it? That'd be my question to Biden. And same to Trump. It's like, okay, what's going to be the next thing for the next 4 years? What could you not get accomplished in the first 4 years that you want to accomplish in the last 4 years? Basically just saying, okay, what are you going to do? We got all these promises and whatnot. Talk about what you have not done that you wanted to do, but you couldn't have done yet. That'd be my question.
Yeah, I agree. And then another thing, I've heard many other people say this, what pushed me to lean more towards Trump is to see how crazy the left has been acting. No matter who is the president, you have to respect whoever is running. You don't have to like them, but respect them. And the fact that they did not show up to, I think it was a vote for Judge Barrett or someone. The Democrats did not show up for that. That's really unprofessional. If any of us average Joe people were to do that, as far as us trying to apply for a job or being in a job setting, we will be fired. If any kind of dirt or anything like that, came up behind us of all of this vulgar stuff from our computers or whatever pops up, we will be let off. We will be thrown into jail, everything on the spot. So then I'm wondering, with all of this exposing against the Biden, I'm like, okay, is the nation of the Red Dragon Nation, are they really just trying to show us that, okay, they're just going to take over this country, and you know what I'm saying? And there's not too much that we can do about it. Why are they exposing that out there when we're thinking, okay, they're working together? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
go ahead.
So it's I don't know. It's something's not right. I'm wanting Trump to win, but just with the censorship and the aggressiveness coming from the left, I'm just I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
But you know what? The good part is people like yourself and myself, we seeing what's going on, and we're seeing that ain't right. You know, what's going on with Hunter Biden in the laptop, and they got it from China. What's going on with that? So we're starting to wake up. And I think we're going to take that to the booth, to the voting, and we're going to vote that way because we don't like the censorship and all the stuff that's happening from that side. We can look at a thing and compare it. It's like, all right, you got this happening with Joe Biden. You got X, Y, and Z. Now, what about Trump's side? What's really happening over there? Not a whole lot. And the media are saying something different than what my own eyes tell me. They think that I'm dumb. Like, I can't see what's going on and make my own mind up. They got to tell me. Just like your girl, what's that, Chelsea Handler, saying, oh, well, you know what? You black, so you can't vote for Trump. When you see stuff like that and it's okay for them to say it, that makes you think differently than what you've been told. So I think people are starting to wake up, like yourself and myself and many others, and we're going to vote the appropriate way. You see in the enthusiasm, it's crazy for Trump right now. Not so much for Biden. You got these big Trump truck rallies and boat rallies and everything else all over the country. And not so much for Joe Biden. You might get a rally with 15 people. I saw Obama speak to a small crowd. Now, you know it's bad when Obama, who still has a lot of love out here, is speaking to like a handful of people on the street corner. So I think that people are starting to see it. It's not just you and me. It's a whole lot of us that feel the same way. Millions of us that feel the same way.
Yeah, and this, well, from the left, they are attacking masculinity big time, and they don't want, they're killing off babies. So they're just going against a lot of, they want women to rule, and they want, effeminate, weak men. It's like, we need those masculine men who will stand their ground for, what they believe in. That helps our society to be, healthy and to function. So when you knock out that man, or you get him in a submissive state, it's like a lot of things just flow and just, you know what I'm saying? It's just, we need those protectors. So it's like more and more they're like attacking, people of leadership, qualities, more so men. And it's no, disrespect to us women, but, we're equal, we're created in the image of God, but we both have certain roles according to how we were designed. We are supporters, by nature. That's how we're designed. We, support and we help the men. The man still doesn't dictate the woman or override her and, tell her to, hush or whatever. It's just, that mutual respect, basically. But thank you for your time, and shout out to the chat room and the moderators.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, take care.
All right, great call to end it. Straight from Virginia. I could tell that voice right away. That's all Virginia. And that's where we come from. We got, there's a lot of woke people out there in the 7 cities, Virginia, that area. So shout out to her. And thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internets. I got super chats to read right quick, and then I'll wrap it on up, put the bow on the top. I'll be live again coming up Wednesday, and I think I'll be back live on Brandon Tatum's channel on Thursday. Of course, this past Thursday we had a debate, so we had to go ahead and cover that one. I think I did the full debate as it was going on, and then Tatum did the follow-up, so he had a really good stream. Shout out to him for his stream, and thank y'all that were there for the stream that I did on Thursday. That was like one of the record-breaking, had like 20,000 peak concurrent. It was crazy. Thank y'all for being here, and shout out to all the moderators doing a great job keeping everything up under control. But I got super chats on deck, and then I'm going to read those. All right. Yeah, hopefully we can start Virginia back red again. We're going back blue because of D.C. Hopefully we go back red. All righty. Now, let me see. Shout out to Jason Anderson for your donation. Thank you to Not a Boy who says, is it possible that Chauvin could be charged for something for the length of time on his neck? I got the maneuver was training and approved. I don't know. It all depends on if they say that the knee caused a death. That'd be the thing. That's the key right there, for sure. All right. Shout out to Brent Blackwell. Let me take this off. Shout out to Brent Blackwell who says, how do we know George Floyd's death was about racism? I haven't heard any reports telling me he is voting for Biden, so I have no clue if he is black. Good one. Shout out to Alicia who says, videos of and photos of Hunter Biden have just been released by China. Thank you to Hunter Biden's crack pipe for your donation. Thank you to V. Demachenko, who says, husband and I voted for Trump today. 2 more votes for 4 more years. Thank you for all your vids. We are independent, and your vids definitely had an impact. Well, I'm glad that it did, and thank you for your donation. Shout out to John Montgomery, who says, off politics, first John moved to Virginia in 1621, changed the name to Montgomery. Do you know Montgomery? I'm not sure I know anybody by the name of Montgomery, like that last name, but I know Montgomery, West Virginia. I know that town is like right up the street from Rand, right in Canal County, but I don't know anybody. Let me see. I don't know anybody by that last name. Hold on. Somebody says Chesapeake has a lot of buying signs on Kentsville. That ain't no surprise, right there. Yeah, close to Greenbrier Parkway, Volvo, all that. Yeah, of course that would be right there. That's like a ritzy type of area, or like it's kind of like a suburb McMansion type area. When I was living out there, they were building that area up 200,000, 300,000. That was like back a few years ago. So those are going for probably 4 and 5 now. You know, people that probably work in downtown Norfolk can just go right there, take 64, 464, go straight to work. Okay, so and it's no surprise about that, Jessica. Not at all. But I keep on rocking here. All right. Shout out to Mark Peterson, who says, thank you. The truth is way easier to remember than a lie. Don Finn says, Charlamagne's boss is Puff Daddy. And also, if you live right there on Kentsville, you probably work in Virginia Beach. You can just go straight down Kentsville and, you know, straight to where you got to go. Now they got that little cut through. You can go right there to Kentsville, to Lynn Haven. So, yeah, a lot of beach people will probably stay out there. But I think the beach might go red. Yeah, so shout out to Virginia Beach. Chesapeake is like a bedroom community. So that's like the suburbs, really. But Virginia Beach should probably go red. Norfolk and Portsmouth, obviously, that'll go blue, unfortunately. Chesapeake, I don't know. Probably purple, if anything. Or red, because Chesapeake is still pretty big, but different story. Let me see. Shout out to Frank G, who says Biden thinks Trump is Abraham Lincoln. Trump should have said 7 years ago Joe Biden was elected. Nothing has been done since. Bryce Clump says keep fighting ABL. We the people fight for the people. There you go. Magnus Vero, thank you for becoming a member of the ABL squad. Thank you to Rebecca Foster, who says, oh, I read that one. And the question, I'll read it again, says, tell me the top 3 reasons why my friends should vote for Trump. I have many that are asking. And I think what I said was, not a politician, and I forgot the rest. I know not a politician was one of them, and then I was saying the economics, and also, you know, First Step Act, criminal, you know, prison reform. Those are one of the main things. Yeah, booming economy, and prison reform. Thank you to Susan Mood says Trump stops the world from going to hell. Or they were saying Trump stops, then the world will go to hell. Thank you to You're So Cool 23, who says, what do you think about Trump donors being doxxed? Why isn't that illegal? I donated, so I guess I'm a target, but I'm prepared. I'm not really sure, you know, what happened with that. Was it like a meeting or some type of, like, was it an event where names of people that were attending the event got doxxed that were donors? I'm not really sure how that happened. All right. Now, let me see. Hold on. And I think Frank called in and asked, or they might have been asking about this particular super chat, and says, why is it inappropriate to just say black people matter, but the movement Black Lives Matter is different? Yeah, I've never really heard that question be asked before. So I think it's all the same. Newport News, Hampton, I'm not really sure. You think Newport News, Hampton, all of that would go red? Probably so. Once you get past beyond Jefferson Avenue, Boulevard, whatever that is, and Denby, once you get past all of that, it pretty much red all the way until you get to Petersburg and Richmond. All right, and then Fredericksburg, all of that up to D.C. Yeah, Fredericksburg is like the line of demarcation. They should just take Fredericksburg back and make that be a different state or something. If you took away Fredericksburg North and Virginia would be red every time. Facts. Let me see. Rick and Bad says doxing is extortion and part of the New American Cartel. All right, hold on. I lost my place right there. Let me go back to where I was. Let me see. Zachary Titchen says, do you think the Green Bay Packers will cover the spread tomorrow against the Houston Texans? And who do you think will win? I have no idea. I've not been watching football, so I don't know. Keep up the good work. Thank you for that. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you to March, who says, "Hi ABL, I'm curious, what do you think about libertarianism and anarcho-capitalism? Personally, I'm ANCAP. I don't know anything about anarcho-capitalism at all. And I think libertarians, people that I know that are libertarian, are cool people. I like them. But I think if you want to vote for like a Joe Jorgensen, it's kind of a cop out because she has a chance of winning. So it makes no sense. Now locally, it might make more sense because you have a chance of winning. A guy like Egg McMuffin, or what's his name, McMullen, a guy like him has a chance of winning locally. I guess it's way in Utah, wherever he lives. But nationally, I mean, come on, let's be for real. If people, you got to understand, if elected officials now don't know what a coyote is, you think people are going to vote libertarian in large numbers? The education just ain't there for a lot of people in America. That's just what it is. So you got to vote red or blue. That's your choices. I mean, and people say that we need more than a two-party system. Go to Europe. It gets even more complicated with more parties. You're going to have the vote split 20%, 30%, 15%. It's a mess. But different story, I digress. As long as we don't have the one-party system, then we're good money, okay? As long as you got a yay or a nay, then we straight. But if you got one party, then that's a problem. If you got Democrats and Republicans kind of fusing together, that's a problem. But I move right along. Let me see. Thank you to Chelsea Biggers for your donation. Thank you to Ryan Jardina for your donation. Definitely appreciate you, boss. Thank you to You're So Cool 23 who says, does a federal constitution trump, pun intended, state constitution? I really need to know for purposes of griping to my governor. That's a really good question. I'm not really sure. Well, I think that it does. Yeah, it does. Yes, that's the answer to the question. However, states do have rights too, and the state, meaning the federal government, cannot necessarily overtake a state in some things that aren't federal law, if that makes any sense. Okay, but at the end of the day, federal constitution trumps all. Period. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. Thank you to Sam Shepard for your donation. Thank you to Chelsea Biggers who says, someone said felons can't vote. Actually, some can. Kentucky's Democrat governor that changed that here, and many are voting Trump. The irony, hashtag Trump 2020. Exactly. And, I think sometimes what a governor may do is issue blanket pardons or clemency or something. Or, pardon me. What they may do is issue blanket voting rights restored. I think in Virginia, you can get your rights restored by the governor. But what Terry McAuliffe did back in 2016 when Hillary Clinton was running, and fun fact, Terry McAuliffe is not from Virginia. He's from Syracuse, New York. That's number one. Number two, he was Hillary Clinton's 2008 campaign manager. So in 2016, he gave a gift to his former boss by issuing blanket voting right restorations to felons in an effort to get more Democrat voters to vote for Hillary. Fun fact. But I digress. Different story. All right. Now, I want to see something right here in the chat. I kind of missed it. Let me see. Somebody said Charlottesville red. Yes, of course. Charlottesville is way out there that's the western part of Virginia, but it's not quite. It's close to northern Virginia, but not quite. It's really in the mountains, right by the Afton Mountain. I used to go there all the time because you got to go there to get to 81 from 64. 64 west and then 81 south to go to Roanoke and West Virginia to get back on 64, then the Turnpike 77. All right. Let me see. Oh, somebody went to Green Run High School. What you mean, Gang Run High School? Shout out to Green Run. I used to be out there all the time on Lane Haven Parkway. That's my old stomping grounds. I used to be out there all the time. All right. Let me see. Shout out to hold on. K9 Therapy, who says Moab Naughty Tapes released, the Gateway Pundit Moab. Yeah, that's definitely a Moab for sure. And please don't watch those tapes, whatever you do. Thank you to Derek, who says, I'm a two-time felon, not proud, just voted for Trump the first time this year, Trump 2020. Congratulations, sir. Congrats. I'm not sure if that was you that called in, but congrats anyway. If I'm telling you congrats again or for the first time, it's all good. Thank you to Leo Mazzina, who says, I had a feeling that someone on the left were going to comment on that coyote reference because people they're not really that smart on the left. They're not, or I won't say they're not smart. Some of them are not smart. Some of them are just not informed. They're uninformed. They're ignorant. That's why they think the way they think. It's a lack of knowledge. It's ignorance. All right. Let me see. Yeah, I know about Roanoke. I got family in Roanoke. I know all about Melrose and Orange Ave, West Side Boulevard, all that good stuff. And also Cave Springs and Blacksburg and all that good stuff out there. Let me see. And Salem, of course. That's what's right there, north of Roanoke. State of the Art says, thanks for your inspiration. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Bryce Clump, who says Trump has 4 peace treaties. Paul B says, thank you, ABL, for all you do. We appreciate you. I appreciate you. Barney Rubble says, top 3 reasons to vote for Trump. Number 1, lower taxes. Number 2, border security. Number 3, encouraging economic growth by eliminating overbearing government regulations. Mike from Queens says, hashtag laptop from hell. State of the Art says, don't coyotes chase the roadrunner only on Saturday mornings or only on Saturday mornings. That's hilarious. Shout out to Good Bad for becoming an ABL superstar. I know about Danville too. Yes. Okay, Danville. I know about Danville because my granddad comes from South Boston, Virginia. Now, if you out there in that part of the state, you know about South Boston. Also, the Hodge twins, you guys know about them, or you may see them as the conservative twins. They come from Martinsville, Virginia. So I know about all of that down there on 58. Yeah, I know that very well. All right. I ain't gonna say that story, but yeah, I know about the area a lot. Let me see. Shout out to Brent Blackwell, who says Democrats had the House and Senate during Obama's first 2 years. If he didn't pass health care down, he could have gotten criminal justice reform. Yeah, he did have the House and Senate the first 2 years. I almost mentioned that. I'm talking about Ivan. It's like, okay, you're talking about, oh, we couldn't get it passed. They didn't want to do it. You had a Democrat House and Senate for the first 2 years. Why didn't he get X, Y, and Z done? You should have had a plan to implement right away, but he didn't. 2 years, what did he do? Nothing. Okay. Shout out to Kevin Freerman, who says the Gateway Pundit has Hunter Biden tapes and photos. Okay, I got you. Thank you to Full Context Clips, who says keep up the good work. Hope all is well. Thank you to Steve Turner, who says China has a deep state too. Trump has Mantis Fist Kung Flu. Nature Boy Alfie says, great show as always, ABL. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Shout out to Jared Gunter, who says hashtag Hunter B. I ain't gonna say none of that type of stuff, but yeah, don't watch them videos. Thank you to somebody said beat. Talking about the Roadrunner, you're hilarious. Thank you to Denise Copeland Stamps for your donation. Thank you to Devin McInnack, who says all of these people voting for politicians as if they keep their promises. They should be voting for the only one who actually keeps his promises. There you go. Let me see. Let me get back to where I was. And thank you to Lily for your donation with the coffee mug emoji. Charles Turner Jr. says, imagine the surprises we will get in the next 10 days. Any undecided voters will be turned off by remarks like Chelsea handlers. Joe Biden just called Trump supporters chumps. Wow, really? That's how you feel? How about have a push-up contest, Biden? Face to face, man to man. Thank you to Jason Rooker, who says 2020 divided by 666 equals ? Eyes. Thinking emoji. Thank you for that. Thank you to Marissa, who says, do you think Charlamagne the God is a secret Trump supporter? What's your take on him? I think that he may be a secret Trump supporter because he said something that kind of, piqued me a little bit. I didn't really give him a lot of credit for it because he came out and said that he's a racist and a fascist talking about Donald Trump. But he said that Trump is doing a good job of engaging black voters, putting things out there, doing things for them, marketing, promotion, doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's actually doing the work. But he did not say that about Joe Biden because Joe Biden insulted him live on TV. That might have been his red pill moment. Like, you might see him write a book in 5 years. That moment right there on live TV could have been the red pill moment right there for, what's his name, Charlamagne the God, being insulted by Joe Biden. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Oh, terrible. Totally embarrassing. Thank you to Alindo08 for your donation. But the thing about Charlamagne is that he has this radio show and his whole brand is about being blackity black, back to Africa, red, black, and green. Maybe not so much, but it's still like super, super black. And he may not want to go in that direction of becoming like me and High Twins and everybody else. That may hurt him in his career. He got kids and a wife. So it may be an economic thing for him but he's kind of conflicted because he got insulted by the guy he's going to vote for on front of everybody. Millions of people watched it. Thank you to Trey 50 Daniel, who says, what is your opinion on how conservatives, libertarians can win the culture war instead of losing by crapping on culture like most tend to do? I think we're doing it right now. I mean, it's becoming cool to be conservative. You see what I'm saying? Like, you see guys like me and other guys that get into music. Shout out to my man Bryson. Hyatt Twins, I keep mentioning them. Brandon Taylor, Candace Owens. We're like the young people that's not in politics. We just, influencers online, and we make it cool to just be yourself. I think we can win the culture war that way. You see, there's nobody that's like us on the left. Who's the cool liberal influencer? I mean, I don't remember this. Hunter Avalon, and shout out to Hunter. Hunter, that's my brother right there, or at least he was. I know I met him a few years ago in El Paso, Texas. We had speaking engagement. It was me. It was Hunter Avalon, Roman Millennial, a.k.a. Lauren Chen. She was there. It was a few of us that was there. Jabanga, he's from Nigeria, but he's out there in El Paso. And I tied his tie for him. You know what I'm saying? Gave him a little pep talk. He was cool. So he might be the only kind of liberal influencer, but he's still kind of on the fence. But who else is there though? Young Turks. What's that? Hassan Piker? Is he a liberal influencer? Is he a cool guy that you want to be like? I don't know about that. But anyway, shout out to Hunter, and not that Hunter, but the other Hunter Avalon. But I'll move on. Shout out to Juan Diaz, who says white lives matter. Hunter Biden, hilarious. Thank you to Jamie Fain, who says love your channel. I appreciate you. Let me see. Alinda08 says we need to get rid of Ralph Northam, Clown Tim Kaine, Luria, and Mark Warner. We have way too many Democrats here in Virginia. ABL, Scott Taylor wins. Yeah, hopefully he does. Scott Taylor was running back when I was out there, and he was running in Virginia Beach, right? Now, is he running for Senate? What is he running for now? When I was out there, he was running for city, something in the city in Virginia Beach. All right. And shout out to Marissa, who says, thank you for answering that. I appreciate your honesty. No problem. The After Hour says, I just can't help but laugh when you use that reference. I'm blackity black. I'm black, y'all. You're the best, my man. Thank you for that, boss. I appreciate you. All right. So that's pretty much all I got for tonight. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. I will see you guys again live on Wednesday of this week right here on the channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Time to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'll be live again on Brandon Tatum's channel on Thursday of next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then I'll be live again Saturday of next week, same time, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, so that's all I got for now. So if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. Hit the bell. Also, so you get notified whenever I go live and/or post a new video. Shout out to the mods for doing a great job keeping all them trolls in check, keeping the chat flowing nice. We got Bill from the Hills, we got True Helper, we got Zedus King Sword, we got Rapper 10,000. I see you in here, boss. We got Elijah Jean, we got all you guys. Charles Turner Jr., thank you for doing what you do, boss. All right, so until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.